Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, and I'm glad that these folks could be here with me. Welcome to episode 770 of the Giant Bombcast. Y'all, I'm going to take this opportunity to tell everyone here, welcome to my month. That's right. It's January, the month that I was not named after, but here we are, folks.
The month was named after you. What are you talking about?
Exactly. It's a whole time travel thing. There's like a time heist. It's like Back to the Future, but not Back to the Future. It's a lot like Hateful Eight. It's exactly like the movie Hateful Eight.
My favorite time travel movie, absolutely.
Yes. Joining me, as always, the co-captain of this ship, Jeff Grubb.
I'm here in body, but maybe not spirit because I'm feeling a little sick.
Little sick, and I appreciate you driving along here when you got like some air coming out of the tire.
I'm not driving. Dayquil is. Dayquil's driving over here.
There we go. Take the wheel, Dayquil.
Take the wheel.
As always, Jeff Baclar is also here, sir.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? This fucking year, right? Am I right?
Yeah, am I right? 3 days in. 3 days in already, man. Shit. Wow. And a big congratulations on an engagement to our own Jess O'Brien. Damn, they put a ring on it. Hey, I have a question, Jess. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna change? You and the semi-husband, soon-to-be husband, can you guys change your last name to Cheeseburger?
We were, might do.
Because we were
not often these opportunities, present themselves, and I feel like to not take the opportunity.
Because forget taking on his name or hyphenating it. That's so 2022. 23, we're making whole new last names.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We should have been doing that forever, to be clear.
For those of you who don't know, somehow, his online handle is Chip Cheesem, and I'm Void Burger, hence that's the joke. There you go.
Thank you, Jess, for explaining the joke.
I'll go back to the courthouse. I will file the paperwork. We'll get it going.
You can have a cat, and this is a bad joke. Everybody, just get ready for it. You can get a cat.
Okay.
Give its first name. I can has. And then it could be I can have cheeseburger.
Okay.
No.
I warned you. What do you want from me? I gave you the warning.
Has invaded his brain, ladies and gentlemen. He is sick in the head now.
You really what happened? I cut my hair and I lost all my powers. So there you go. Let's just get over with it.
There we go.
It's horrifying.
God,
Jeff Grubb is not actually.
Look at your fucking head, dude.
Jeff Grubb is not actually here. This is like the cousin of McFoley or something.
For those of you without, visuals, I cannot describe
just picture
the horror.
Carl Urban, really.
No. You know what? If you are an audio only listener to the podcast, everything's fine. You're not going to see anything.
That's right.
It's okay.
You're fine.
You're doing the right thing.
You can continue living in like the happy world of 2022 when Jeff Grubb still had all his hair.
Yeah,
I was at that party with Mike Minotti's
your mind. Right?
Yeah, with Mike Minotti's filthy friends, and Mike. Someone said it. I'm like, let's do it. Let's go for it. I kind of want to get it over with. Mike went in the house and found the worst clippers in the fucking United States, and came back, and we went out in the garage, and they ran out of battery halfway through, and that's when I found out that there was a barber at this party, and Mike had repeatedly told him no, not to help. And I'm like, what is happening?
Mike, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Those are his filthy friends. It's the whole shtick.
Yeah.
Mike Minotti's filthy friends sounds like, I don't know, like a jug band or something.
Yes, definitely.
So Jeff Grubb now looks like, I want to say, I said earlier in the meeting, I said he looked like sort of like a high school football player now.
Sure.
What I think you fucking look like, but not like the one that would maybe befriend you and not like stuff you in a locker.
I look like I really want to go to my dad's prep school, like military prep school. Like, yeah.
More specifically to Baclar's description there, you look like the too old actor that portrays that character in the movie.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Like, that's not a teenager, but I guess I'll allow it because I'm watching a movie.
Yeah, everyone in Varsity Blues was like 45, right? Like,
I would fuck up James Vanderbeek, absolutely.
How did the family react, Jeff?
One daughter cried and told me to go away.
I cried.
And and she did she has like this real harsh frowny face where she's like, but then once she does the frowny face, she like is trying to force herself to not cry, so it just makes it worse. The other one was just like, whatever, I don't care. And then my wife didn't talk to me for about half the day, and then eventually got over it. So we're good.
Did you tell them that you were going to do this?
I gave them ample warning about for like a half a month. I was telling them like, this is going to happen. This game's not coming out, so we're going to have to do this. And
This game's
they're just
not
like, we don't understand that. That's real stupid. I'm like, listen, I know it's real stupid, but it's got to happen. So I guess for people that don't know, I said Metroid Prime would come out this holiday, and I was so sure of it that I would cut my hair if it didn't, because I had 2 really good sources, and then I think they just changed things at Nintendo. So
Damn it.
It happens. It's fine. That's what I get for saying things in any like certitude. So yeah.
I have a question.
Please.
Was like who put you up to this specifically? I don't think I know the exact like canonical narrative.
Was it Mike Minotti and his filthy friends?
And no, I mean, his filthy friends are responsible for a lot of terrible things in this world, but I don't think this one was mostly my own doing. I think
you volunteered.
I think I volunteered it. Just like I'm so like, how sure are you? I'm like, okay, I'll cut my hair if it doesn't come out. Like just saying that, and then of course the internet's like, well, you said that. I think it was in Kind of Funny's chat during one of their streams when they were talking about the story as I reported it. And then everyone's chat's like, Jeff's here, let's ask about it. And I'm like, oh, I'll cut my hair. And then someone took that chat and put it on Twitter, and then that became canonical. And I'm like, listen, I will stick to this. That's fine. I've kind of been wanting to cut my hair for a while.
And
in the old parlance of something awful, you toxed yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
You just let the fame get to your head, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then it got to his head.
Happens. Yeah, it really got to my head. And then I cut it off. Immediately I got sick. And all this, I hadn't been. Remember, I was saying, "Oh, I haven't been sick all year. This is great." And then, as soon as I cut my hair, I'm sick. So, all my power's gone, and now we have to deal with a much weaker Jeff.
That's right.
How long
not
do
that I
want to
see this
to grow back, though.
About 1.5 years.
Oh God! Damn,
really?
that's awful.
We got to deal with the awkward phase of this for a year and a half.
No, it's gonna get so much worse. Have you guys ever seen that SNL movie? It's Pat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna look like here in about a couple of months, because it's gonna be like a small little Jeffro.
What?
You gotta get some oils. You gotta massage.
Should I shave my head too?
Encourage
Jen,
growth.
you don't fucking dare.
No,
Don't
Jen,
you dare.
Jen, come on.
Jen, you were supposed to dye your hair. You're supposed to bleach it like that silver color
Right.
for some reason. That still hasn't happened. So you can
Okay.
shave your head.
I
Yeah,
guess so.
It's Pat. Might not be
I don't know why you
culturally sensitive,
promised
yes.
that, but I'm still waiting for it.
This site, this entity already has a hair problem. Okay, I don't need you adding more fuel to that fire.
My kids have like started calling me Mike Minotti. They're like, "Hey, you look like Uncle Mikey because you're bald." and they say that. That's because you're bald. I'm like, I'm not bald. All right. Like, look at this hairline. Look how it juts forward.
I know,
that's
it doesn't make any
receding.
sense.
That's proceeding.
It really is. It's actually going to go and take over the
It's
entirety
gonna
of your
become
forehead.
one with my eyebrows.
The
Yeah.
angles on those temples just.
It'll merge. Listen, well, how come you didn't shave it?
I said I would cut it. I always meant buzz. I always meant this. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not trying to get you in more trouble, but that's like
I
a
got a
3 or a
sensitive-
4 you've got up there.
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Like,
I think it's longer than that. Probably.
Back
actually.
like you're being
Probably
a,
like a
you're being
7.
you're being a hair narc here, dude.
On the side, it's pretty short.
You know,
Yeah.
my partner and I, we were house sitting, and there was a point when we were house sitting where I was like, man, my mustache feels a little too long. And then if I wasn't at home, if I wasn't at someone else's place, I think I would have just shaved off all my facial hair then and there. I think I just needed some type of change. I think I needed something.
Yeah, it's that sign. I needed a vacation for myself. That's what I was. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm on right now. A little vacation for myself. Get back there.
You need
eventually.
that.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen all of you virtually, longer in person. But how's everyone doing? How's the break for everyone? We can talk about games
alright.
later. I want to hear about
fuck the
you
games.
guys. How was the holidays?
My Christmas Eve dinner was ruined by an oven that locked the food away
Oh, right.
in the oven.
You were
What?
talking about this. I'm like, that sounds like a problem. Well, good luck with that. I have no idea what to do. What was the solution?
The solution was to
A gun?
not get the dinner and just to get some fucking guy out like 5 days later to unlock
Oh
the
my
oven.
god!
How does an oven lock?
So there's like, ow, why did my hair get caught in that? Anyway, there's
Cut it
like-
off.
So for those of you who don't know, this is the theme for the episode. Just cut it off. But the situation is, for those of you who don't know, a lot of ovens have locks on them because when you go into self-cleaning mode, it gets to like 700 degrees in there, and it's like you don't. This is a liability to have anyone able to unlock this bitch when it's this hot in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought so. The food wouldn't get out. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it doesn't escape in case it's like really rare. But and also like if toddlers are toddling around, they open the oven.
I could tell you those little monsters want to open up everything. So yes.
Yeah.
They are drawn to
Toddling around.
death. Like
Okay,
the
keep
Yes,
locks in
absolutely.
ovens. I'll allow it. Okay.
And
So
drawn to death.
and the thing is that my aunt who was cooking this bitchin' meal, oh my god, Italian ossobuco to die
Ooh.
for.
This is criminal.
To die for. I've had it before. Fucking incredible religious experience situation. It smells so amazing. And we get a call before we leave my parents' house, like, okay, the oven's like stuck locked, but I think once it cools down, it'll unlock because that's what happens when the self-cleaning mode locks. So whatever, it's like stuck in this weird mode or something.
Mm.
It wasn't in that mode, and of course it wasn't. She was cooking food that would extremely, turn
Right.
the food into like ash. So it just like the motor or something malfunctioned and just like clamped the whole fucker shut, and there was absolutely nothing we could do. All of us were putting our heads together. We were Googling furiously.
Oh, man.
This was like an oven from 1999, so like this wasn't like a super common problem online. But like people were like, "Oh, like you have to wait till it cools down." It's not happening. It's not happening. It's cool now. Unplug it. Turn the breakers on and off. No dice.
Huh.
Oh, is there a reset like combo? It's like, oh, press the 0 and the 9. No, it doesn't work. And then eventually it's like, okay, get a really sturdy coat hanger and kind of like try to jimmy it open, like you jimmy open a car door back.
Sure.
In
Of
the
course,
day.
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know if you can still do that or not. If cars are more advanced now and are
No
coat
idea,
hanger
but
Just break the
still, I like
windows
the
now.
idea. That's where
That
my
works.
mind went.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right?
So-
San
so-
Francisco, they just break the windows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But like, yeah, we're doing all this shit. It is just impossible to open, and like, we actually have it halfway out so that we can get like leverage on it and stuff like that. And like the word crowbar came up
That's where my mind went first.
and was rejected by the man of the house. My uncle was like, "No, we're not doing that." And it's like, okay, but this oven's like broken anyway, and
Could
we
have
need
started a
repair
fire,
guy.
right?
And
Like,
no, it was like the breakers were off, and and all that
oh,
stuff.
got it.
And,
Okay, good.
like the oven wasn't on anymore, but it was just
Got it.
fucking locked. And even when the breakers were off, lock was still engaged, could not get undone. The motor was just stuck where it was.
Mm.
And yeah, like there was no way to unscrew anything, unbolt anything. It was just a unit of meat prison.
Did
And
you
you
try
could not-
magnets? I don't know what that means. I just felt the need to say it.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh my god. So yeah, like friggin' that was when was Christmas? Sunday, and Thursday the guy was able to come out and retrieve the meat.
How was the
From
ossobuco?
How to taste.
It was soup. No one, of course, we did not eat it. It was dangerous to eat at that point, but it looked really, it looked like it had been digested already. It did not look,
Oh no.
it did not look too hot, but I was told it smelled fucking incredible. So that was the adventure that happened. We did not, it was a close call though. My aunt happened to have like a whole bunch of like chicken defrosted and just like whipped up some like chicken cutlets, and it was totally fine. But it was like, oh my god, that was like $140 worth of meat, $170 worth of meat that we lost.
Oh.
That poor oven.
I mentioned, I think, that I was getting my kids that Kirby and the stuffed Kirby and the stuffed Waddle Dee. They had been asking for weeks. I'm like, no Christmas. So they finally get it, and of course, they actually did really like it. I'm like, they're gonna get these things and set them aside and never actually play with them. They've been playing with them nonstop. And last night, I had since also gotten them the Elfalin, I think is the little blue mouse creature from Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Got them that. I found them up in one of their rooms putting on a Meep of the Year competition, and they had all the friends, every single lobster that Addie owns throughout this entire house was in the room, and they're like, we're doing a Meep of the Year competition, and it turned out Elfalin from Kirby in the Forgotten Land actually ended up winning that. So that's been our holiday break.
What were the deliberations like? Like what kind of
I was just kind of
categories?
like, I was kind of half listening in sometimes.
Did they get
but
to
were just like,
say their piece and everything? And
right, it was a big argument. Everyone felt really uncomfortable. Yeah, it was absolutely. Yeah. It just seemed like they were doing like big presentations, like put on a show, and there was like singing and dancing and stuff. And I'm like, oh my, this is really entertaining stuff. We're gonna get these kids on the internet. But yeah, it was really cute, and so congratulations to the little elf blue mouse thing from Kirby for winning Meep of the Year. Apparently,
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
I'm gonna tell my children that that's actually what Triple H stands for, is just hip hip hooray. And then he's just a very angry person that no one is saying hip hip hooray anymore, and that's why he spits at the face of all of them.
Yeah.
If you told me that like really straight faced, I would have believed you. Like that's how completely oblivious I am.
I should have saved this. Do you think Lucy and Tam know? They probably know who Triple H is, right?
I think so.
I think you can get Lucy.
Okay.
Especially if you get Tam in on it.
Okay. All right. Everyone, that is the heist for the month of January. We're going to gaslight Lucy James into thinking Triple H actually stands for hip hip hooray. No one else tell her.
See, we should really be. I agree. We should do this. We should do this to Lucy, but we should also think of something for Tam because Tam deserves it.
Oh yeah, that's what we got to work harder. We got to build ourselves up to that. Absolutely.
He's a little stinker. Yeah.
Yes.
He showed me a side of him this break that I was genuinely shocked at. The lengths at which he's willing to go to stab someone. So anything we can think of to destroy him, I'll endorse.
What did he stab about?
You got to tell us what did he do.
No, that's like personal.
That's neither here nor there.
Tell us with your eyes.
right.
Tell us with your eyes.
Yep. Yeah. Just give us a look.
Pantomime.
Oh man.
Oh
shit.
It's one of us.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. So here's what I did on Christmas.
Please.
I was up in Vermont and I went skiing like I usually do on Christmas because the rule of thumb is you people just stay home and open presents, and all the Jews and
Get everything else.
non-Christmas
It's
people.
your day. Seize the day.
We do like a Sound of Music sort of sprawling through the meadow,
Yeah.
and we do whatever we do. So I went up to the mountain as I do, one of the mountains in Vermont, and this was during that gigantic like winter storm.
Yes.
Which I don't know if you guys heard about. So the first day was pretty bad, but then on Christmas Day, I get out there and we're pulling up to the mountain, and I want to try and get like that first lift up because that's the kind of freak I am. I want that fresh pow pow. I want those fresh groomed trails because that's what they do on the East Coast. They have to groom it.
Like the Black Eyed
it's
Peas
not
song.
natural enough.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking pulling in the parking lot and I'm like, what the fuck? This place is crowded. What is happening? Ladies and gentlemen, the secret's out.
Yeah.
They're on to us. It's
completely empty except for Jews, and they get out of the way. They're very polite. It's great.
This is a distress call for
no.
all the other Jews wishing to go skiing on Christmas. They're on to us. They know the secret. Abort. Abort.
So
We can't do it anymore.
Was it
We can't do it
Gentiles?
anymore.
A lot of Gentiles out there on the slopes.
Gentiles?
Yeah, a lot of, it's just whoever it wasn't us, okay? Let's just put it that way.
The others.
Wow.
No, it was fine. It was way emptier than a normal day. But
Yeah, the deal was that Jews write all the good Christmas songs, and then you guys get to go skiing that day. That was the deal.
you Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Hey, Idina Menzel, she really wanted to release a Christmas album, and gosh darn it, she did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some really funny statistic about Christmas songs and who they were written by.
Oh,
But
they're
anyway,
almost all the ones that are like have nothing to do with Jesus. Almost every single one was written by a Jew. Seriously, and also
Cool.
Frosty and like almost all those shows were animated in Japan. So if you grew up on that stuff, you grew up on anime. Like
Yeah,
Frosty the
that's pretty
Snowman is
cool.
just an anime.
what a fun fact.
Is Frosty a kaiju?
Frosty's a kaiju,
Ooh.
absolutely. Yeah.
All
Maybe
right.
a little bit bigger, but-
He's the North Pole kaiju.
All right. Heat Miser
The
and
abominable snowman is at least because he's very large.
Definitely.
Right?
But yeah, that's what I did. It's
guy?
like, I'll say this for the break as a whole. I didn't stop and I didn't get time to relax.
Same.
I'm so
no.
tired.
Me
I'm
too.
so fucking tired. All I want to do is nothing.
I was on a plane 3 hours ago. I just got here. I just got back. I'm so tired.
Like,
Let's take a collective nap after we talk about some video games. But yeah, same,
Hell yeah.
same. Oh my god. All right, you guys ready to talk about some video games?
No, but let's do it anyhow.
All right.
I thought that was the thing, and it wasn't playing.
Oh no, that was just a collective like
Big sigh.
a big sigh.
So what does Triple H stand for?
Well,
Hunter.
I mean, I thought about doubling down there and just going like, no, it
Oh.
actually does stand for hip hip hooray.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have fallen for that this time though. There was too much lead up with it.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Helmsley.
Okay, I looked it up. What does Triple H mean? It turns out it stands for hyperornithonemia hyperammonia homocitrinuria syndrome. It's a condition in which the body is unable to process and remove waste and ammonia.
And that's why Triple H spits a bunch of water out when he enters the ring. It's not water, it's all ammonia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the
Smells awful in there.
Yeah. You don't want to get in the ring with that guy. Man.
No.
Oh gosh.
All right. I want to talk about a game that I've been playing, and it's not actually a game. DaVinci Resolve.
Ooh, tell me about this shit. What are
I
you doing?
heard good things about DaVinci
Yeah,
Resolve.
I tried it, and all the shortcuts were different, and I got scared, and I haven't opened. It's still on this hard drive.
How's Tom Hanks in it?
Yeah. The hairline is not flattering. It's not flattering.
Rough.
I like the one where he lands a plane. Yo, let me tell you, I was just futzing around with DaVinci Resolve over the break. You know, I picked up a new camera. I'm like, all right, DaVinci Resolve, for folks that don't know, it is it's a video editing software. It's used a lot by people that get super duper into colorists and everything.
Yeah, it's color. It was started as like the big color correction software, right? And then they've been making it. It's free. That's a big thing too.
Yes, it's free. It's pretty feature rich for something that is free.
The most recent version, it's like everyone's saying, just move to DaVinci Resolve. Just leave everything else behind.
Yeah.
Is it official? Should I?
Everyone's.
give it a
That's what all the
shot?
people who know what they're talking about say. That it's probably time. Yeah, I'm gonna move. I think.
Yeah, I think I might.
Ooh.
And the only thing I'm thinking that I use Adobe for at this point is just Audition and Photoshop.
Yeah, Photoshop still is kind of just
and
the easiest
Photoshop
one.
like has so many other
Right, you
like
just have to
copycat
learn.
ones that are just incredible also.
Oh
So
man.
Resolve is an
Corel
all in
Paint.
one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like it has similar features to Adobe After Effects too, right? Like
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Does it have my precious keyframes? Are there keyframes?
There are tons of
there are
keyframes.
Lots. Yes.
And there's nodes, right? So nodes is a big thing in DaVinci Resolve, and I apologize for folks. I know this is not a video game,
No,
but
this is cool though.
it
Yeah, I'm
feels
interested.
like a
We're
video
talking
game
shop.
though, because I had to go edit something like a personal thing in Premiere, and then even though all the keyboard shortcuts are familiar and my muscle memory's kicking in, it just feels like garbage after like maybe 2 weeks with DaVinci Resolve. And then I really do not understand how the colors and the contrast I can manage to attain and get to and resolve, how I can't do that even though I'm applying the same theory technically to like an image in Resolve. Like for folks that don't know, S-Log or log footage is like really desaturated. And it's shot that way so you can pull the colors out, you can fix exposure, fix contrast, fix the colors, etc. Really mess with the image. But in Premiere, everything that came out looked like probably how Jess's family's Osobuco looked after being stuck in an oven for like 5 days.
I thought
Very
I
brown.
thought like I didn't realize it had such a problem with S-Log.
It handles it fine, and then whenever I shoot anything in like 4K 60, I have to make proxies because even on like
You
any
have
of
to make
these,
proxies.
even on these machines, it just won't play it back fine. But then Resolve, it was playing it back smoothly, and I'm
It's
like,
got to be like tech debt, right? In Adobe products, they've just been making that stuff for so. I mean, that's what I learned in high school was Adobe Premiere.
yeah,
And that was a very long time ago now, and it's it's probably fundamentally a lot of the same tech underneath there. So
You think it's just a little too crowded there under the
I guess
surface?
a little bit. Yes, there's a
yeah.
lot of cranky
You
little
know?
code inside there, just like vying for room and getting pretty.
Right.
It doesn't work well with others anymore. Absolutely.
no, yeah, and
I feel like sorry to interrupt, Jen. I
No,
feel
no,
like
no.
Premiere. I mean, at least from the shows that I know my wife is working on, like they're all Premiere.
Yeah.
So I wonder, and I'm curious to hear like how much, if people are making some kind of transition. There's also multiple editors, so they have to be on the same platform. because
Yeah,
they
Sure.
remote
right.
edit,
That's
and
like
they
if you
all
want to
have be
like
on the
work in
same
a
thing.
yes,
It's
like
simply
there's
the
there's
most
a
common
workflow.
one
Yeah,
Yeah.
that everyone is likely to know, I guess. But
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but for a
But I think
while
a lot
it
of
was.
independent,
over.
Yeah.
a lot of YouTubers have moved over to DaVinci Resolve for sure. I think a lot of films now are almost entirely edited in DaVinci Resolve when a lot of them were like done in Premiere Pro and Avid and stuff like that
Well,
before.
it used
But
to be a lot of Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro was huge.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
shouts
Yeah.
out
And
to
then
Final
7.
Cut 7, man.
7,
Yep.
baby.
Dude, I want to get
I
that
learned-
tatted.
I
Oh yeah.
I learned how to edit on iMovie on my,
Oh,
on
boy.
my laptop
Sure. Oh, yeah.
in like freshman year of college. Before they really fucked up iMovie, they made it like way worse. Like a couple like 8
Yeah.
years ago or something, and I was like, no, like I already knew Premiere, thank God, at that point. But like I started cut my chops on iMovie, learned Final Cut Pro in one video class at school, but it was like videos like on like the little SD tapes, little tiny boys and stuff like that.
Little tiny boys.
Little tiny boys. And then it's like, okay, no one uses this. So I learned the Adobe suite, but like Adobe friggin' that company sucks. Oh my God.
Yep, it's real bad. Hey, Vegas
Nickel
Edit
and
20
diamond.
is like $170 on Steam right now. So there you go.
And Avid's still around too. I think.
Oh, Avid's
Oh, yeah,
still
for
around.
sure.
That shit is never gonna die.
Yeah.
No, I the first NLE I learned was Avid, and then Premiere, and then Final Cut, and then back to Premiere.
Oh, you did Premiere Final Cut Premiere? Oh, interesting.
Yep. Real weird time in the year 2000. There.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to. Last thing I'll say about DaVinci Resolve is that the node structure, I at first was very intimidating, and node structure for folks that are more familiar with Premiere, it works a lot like just adding adjustment layers on top of things or nesting stuff, but it is so much more cleaner.
Oh, thank God. Please. I need nests. Like all the way down. I want nests. That's like one
Oh
of
my
my
God.
largest, like just organized. You've seen my timelines
Yes,
and how organized
yes.
I try to keep these things, like color coordination and shit like that. It's not
Yeah.
enough. It's still not neat enough.
Jess, I think based off of looking at your timelines, I think you would actually really, really enjoy the node structure
Okay.
in
Now
DaVinci
you've
Resolve.
sold me with this like organizational aspect here.
Because the annoying thing with Premiere is that sometimes with an adjustment layer, if you're applying it several adjustment layers only to specific clips, and you kind of just need to go back and look which specific one is like the bad one, or you need to adjust the not muting, but the poking out of the eyeball to hide the layer is always so cumbersome in Premiere. Jess, in DaVinci Resolve, that shit works so much better, and the labeling works, and then you could just
Labeling?
there's so many labels, and then
Are there folders?
there's so many bins, but then within each node, Jess, you can see what specific thing has been adjusted. If you have like touched an S curve, the node will be like, yo, you touch the S curve here, dog. And then if you apply like a LUT to another one, it's like, yo, you touch the LUT over here, dog. And then it just carries forward. They pay it forward. It's
Oh,
amazing.
that sounds nice.
It's great. We'll do a quick look of DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm calling it here. This UPF, I'm going to bring DaVinci Resolve. That's going to be my game.
Yeah, let's do
let's do it.
All right, let's talk about actual video games. New video games like the hotness. Jess, you've been playing Stardew Valley.
For God's sake, you're starting with me. Jesus Christ. I have a problem. This should be, an intervention because I keep playing fucking Stardew Valley. I've played an ungodly amount of hours across like so many files, mostly on Steam, but I think I have it on the Switch too. And it's just like I have a fucking problem.
Now,
It doesn't stop.
are you continuing the same save or farm? No.
I restart because I'm a freak. And
How far do you get in? Like, what's the furthest you, like, how many seasons?
I've like beaten it, like beaten,
Okay.
quote unquote. I've
Sure.
gotten to year 3 when Grandpa comes back to the dead and says, "Good job, kid."
It kills you, takes you with them into heaven. Yeah.
But like, there's so much new stuff now, and I didn't know that. Like, there's little bits and bobs. Like, there's another little like cave you can go into that's near the quarry, and I was like, what the fuck is this? There's a cave here, and there was like a golden scythe in there. I'm like, what? There's a trader in the desert now, and they don't take money. You trade like rubies and stuff for items out there. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I love it.
Okay. I've always been Stardew curious. Like, what is?
You haven't played?
I've never played because
It's a tile game. You're putting.
I know it's a
vegetables in
tile
tiles.
game.
Tiles.
Yeah.
And then, like, because of Disney Dreamlight Valley, I think I like farming games.
Dude.
You would love Stardew, I think.
Yeah. I agree with the chat. Due to the hills.
That's right. That's right. I don't know. Based
Got
off of
multiplayer now. I mean,
It does. Co-op.
yeah.
oh, okay, Jess. You know, after I eventually wrap up Sekiro, I think
Let's talk.
let's
This
talk.
is the opposite of Sekiro.
Is
Yes.
it? I don't know. Who
It's
knows?
so much. I mean, there's some hairy things you can get into in the
Okay.
caves, but I mean, like, you know, it's just you make a little farming, you raise a little chickens. It's just a nice time.
You could raise some, make some barley so you can make some beer. in
I've
the
heard
winter.
that. It's,
Some-
okay.
Some pale ales, some wines, some
Ooh.
cheeses.
How big is the dev team behind Stardew Valley? It's just a couple folks, right? Or has it
I
grown
don't-
now?
I don't know. I can't speak to
Mm.
that. I know
It was
that the dev had,
it was a dude, I think, and then he had some contractors.
yeah, and I think there was some sort of drama with the contractors.
Oh,
Like,
no.
don't quote me on this.
There
I think there
probably
was some sort
always
of
is.
like
Allegedly,
unsavory,
allegedly.
some sort of alleged unsavory business there. I think
That could have been with the Port Studios, I think. It sounds like a concerned or
Yeah, I don't know. Like there was
I
something
don't remember
going on
either.
with
I'm not
that.
gonna speak to it because I don't remember.
I don't know, but all I know is that I can't stop playing this game. This is, I think, my 6th or 7th file,
Oh,
Man,
maybe
you
more.
always
I
play on
have, you know.
PC or what? Is
I've got a Steam Deck now, so I was
that what you're
playing
playing?
it a lot on the Steam Deck.
Oh,
do,
no.
do you like do all controls or do you like were you pressing on the screen at all? Like, what's the
Occasionally,
interface like for you?
You know, like it's pretty much, I do use a controller pretty much all the time when I play.
Right.
Like if I can on a
Mhm.
PC game, I use a controller, it's just more comfortable in general
Sure.
because my pinky and ring finger on my left hand cannot be trusted with all the responsibilities they have on a PC, like crouching, running.
Yeah, Steam
you
told
know.
me I used the controller 80% of the time on my games on PC games last year. I'm like, I was surprised to hear that. I'm like, that. I didn't think it would be that often, but yeah, I use it a lot. Yeah, of course.
But it's a good game on a controller. There's just like a couple of like UI things that are a little glitchy on a controller, but like with the touchscreen on the Steam Deck, it's like, oh, okay, just boop boop. You just drag the thing where you want it to be, and it doesn't come up that often. So I don't know. It's been a good addictive time.
Yeah, I got it on Switch that's when I really actually played it. But I only got through about the first season, and then something else came along and I had to play it, and I never went back. So I'm like, maybe I'll get it on Steam Deck, give it another shot. I really enjoyed what I played of it. So
I only like played it like this last week, and I'm already like in the middle of winter of year 1, and it's like
Wow,
that's
okay.
like over 20 hours. How did that happen? Oops.
Oh no,
Fucked
this
up.
is I can't have this in my life. Y'all know me. I can't
You
I
want
can't
it?
Of course I want it. Of course I do.
There's some gambling aspects in it.
And then Permanent Psy, lovely Giant Bomb member, is telling me the thing that I need in all video games.
oh yeah, you can smooch people.
People kiss in this game, man.
People, you can. Oh my god, you can like date and marry about half
vegetable.
the cast.
Yep.
I want a vegetable. Some
Oh,
pretty
wow.
hot vegetables out there. There's
Yeah.
I still want more marriage options though. You can't fuck the wizard.
Mm.
Like bullshit. I want to fuck the wizard.
I've been
there's
told
this
that my
little-
entire life.
There's this
I hate that.
there's this little creepy gremlin guy. His name is Krobus. I think he's cute as hell. I think he'd be great to wed or date. I'm giving this guy horseradishes all the time. He loves me. Can't go to the next step. He's just a little freaky guy.
Well,
I like playing that game and not talking to anybody, and I want to like having the option to like date and choosing to ignore it. It's like like I feel so powerful. Like no,
my-
I deny you my essence.
My big complaint about Stardew Valley is that the writing is not good. Like every single character can just be like summed up like, one word. runs the store is the wife of the one who runs the store. Guy who lives at beach, fisherman. And it's just like, okay, everyone's so boring.
I love it. It sounds like a simple life, Jess. I feel like I need that.
Yeah.
It's just like, I wish there was dating. Like you had to go on dates and have little conversations more often. Because it's just like, they say these vapid things and just like, okay, here's a gift. I gotta go.
Here's your horseradish. All right. It's slow out here. You know, we had like a couple weeks off. So, you know, we're no real new games popping off. But it sounds like, Jeff Grubb, you've picked up a new peripheral, a new system. What aftermarket have you acquired? The Funky S. Funky S?
Funky S. Because the key is key there because it is a keychain-sized video game portable thing. I have it upstairs, literally on my keys right now, so I don't have it with me. But it came in a tiny little box. It is very small. Looks like a little Game Boy. It is, but it's capable of running everything up to like a PlayStation. So I was playing Bubsy 3D on this tiny little thing, but the size of a matchbook is actually how big it is.
Why?
Because listen, I was kind of hoping everyone would know not to ask that question because I don't have a good answer. I don't, because I'm sick and it was another new thing to buy, another new handheld to put in the collection and, you know, barely ever play. I like the idea of having my games with me everywhere. Now I have a million ways to do it, of doing that, but all these different form factors, they're exciting. It's like, okay, well, I have the, you know, sort of long candy bar shaped one that doesn't fold, and that one's good for all these games, and it's, you know, really comfortable, but it's still not something I'm going to bring with me everywhere. What if I could have something on my keychain that it's like this weird little distraction or a conversation starter? And if I'm actually in line everywhere, and like I'm ever in line ever anymore, but if I am, hey, I have this thing, I could just take it off the keychain real quick. It's got a little hook, so it's not like I'm like holding this tiny little thing and all my keys are hanging off. I'll just take it off there and play it. And it's because I can is really the only good answer.
It's just like the rationale for that is just a little
okay. Listen, you're not my therapist. We don't have to get into it. I recognize.
I can't be within. At all times I must be within like 4 inches of a game.
Well, if I'm left alone with my thoughts, that's when the sadness comes in. We can't have that.
We must stamp that out.
We must scream it away. Yes, absolutely.
Sure,
Scream it away with Bubsy 3D. Yeah.
There you go.
Can an episode of Blake Club just be on that little device? Just the camera pointed down at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to make it extra. Yeah. Get one of those Game Boy like screen magnifier attachments.
Yes, absolutely. I got one of those in that room right there. Yeah,
oh man, that shit was so tight. I felt so cool when I had one as a kid. I looked at my parents. I'm like, you guys do love me. I love y'all. And then I had a worm light, but then the worm light added a glare to the magnifying screen. So I was like, thank you, parents, but this is a weird thing.
You gotta get the magnifying lens with the light built in. That was the key.
Yeah, that was, oh man. Can someone make that for the Steam Deck? Can someone just make a bunch of dumb peripherals for the Steam Deck? Please. Jeff Grubb, Jeff Bakalar, sorry, got my Jeffs crossed. I'm reacclimating because of the hair, you know?
Yeah.
You have some stuff about the Steam Deck.
Yeah. So when I was up in Vermont, I brought a Steam Deck and the dock I got sent to me from Valve. And, well, it didn't work real well out of the box. The dock, there's a dock you can get for the Steam Deck that has an HDMI out and a little stand for it. And, you know, it's very weird. Like, so obviously it's no surprise. My son really likes Spider-Heck a lot. I said, dude, we're going to get up there and we're just going to play Spider-Heck until we fall asleep. And he was so jazzed, right? Because like, who doesn't hear that? And they're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. So we get up there, I boot it up, and the game, first off, like had to install some sort of Epic online services.
What?
Yeah. I tweeted about it. There's a photo of this installation process that had to finish that was like Epic branded. I couldn't understand what was going on, but apparently there's like some sort of back end with some of these Steam games, right?
And Epic provides their online multiplayer like suite of tools to other developers for free. and a lot of developers have begun just using that as a way of doing their multiplayer backends, and I bet that game does as well.
Right. So presumably, if you have yet to need or run a game that uses that little client or whatever,
I think a lot of times it might install it with every game too. So because
cool,
it's like,
what a cool thing.
Yeah, I mean that's just PC gaming. Yep.
Yeah, right. That is just PC gaming. Anyway, you put it on when you're playing on the Steam Deck and you're somewhere where internet is not what you would say fast. Turns out that's a 45-minute process, which is just not what you want to hear when you're ready to go with after a 4.5 hour
when it's
drive.
time for spider hacking for sure. Yeah,
exactly. Then the dock needed to be updated. The dock.
Oh no,
the dock.
How much hardware is in that thing?
It can't be much.
A PCB with a couple in and outs is really what it is. Then that update finally got it to display onto the television that was there. But look, bumpy road. I knew there was probably a light at the end of this tunnel, but it just took a lot longer than I thought it would.
But once it was on the TV, how did it work?
I think for the most part it worked well. I think I don't know if the TV, I don't know, maybe it was like the HDMI cord I had, but there was a little bit of audio wonkiness. The picture was fine, but audio-wise,
a lot of times that's just the Steam Deck. I find if I put it in sleep mode enough times, like the 12th time I bring back a game from putting it in sleep mode, because it's a handheld, I put it in sleep mode all the time. I'm just hitting the button, go and do something, and bring it back. But that 12th time though, it'll be like, actually, we've given up. This trying to emulate Windows audio through the Proton layer to bring it to Linux. This is actually kind of fucked up. This shouldn't even be possible. We're just going to give up and make it all scratchy and stuff.
Right.
And
maybe
a lot of times I either have to close the
reboot.
game or reboot. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe rebooting is the way to go. So yeah, I mean, like for the most part, gameplay experience wise, it was really good. Ran into some other wonkiness with like Xbox Series X controllers not binding to the Steam Deck because of an outdated like Bluetooth update, which I had no idea was a thing. Luckily I had two 8-bit duos that like worked real well. That controller's fucking great. I love that thing.
8-bit Do, yeah. That's
8-bit
actually
8-bit Do,
I got because of Nintendo, but
got it.
What
Yeah.
do you use? Is that what you're? Yeah,
I don't have that one. I have the gray one.
The one that's sort of like the NES controller or the Super NES controller with like the handles and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like the original Game Boy coloring, like the gray and the purple. Yeah. That thing's awesome. I love that controller. Binds really quickly. But after the update with the Xbox Ones, we were in business. Then downstairs at this house.
This I saw.
Occurred.
I could like a little comes snowboarding in.
Just a little shrine, just a little cute little shrine in the corner of this rural snow ski house in Vermont. Rested a PlayStation 2 and like 25 games.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty substantial collection. That was pretty neat.
Was one of them SSX? Because that would be like really
certainly was.
Wink.
Jess.
Wink. Yeah.
It was dope. Like my buddy Derek and I just booted that thing up, and like you heard that sound with the flying cubes, and you're
how many cubes did you get? How many cubes did you get?
We were drunk, and we were just sort of doing the old like, yeah. For a good 15, 30 seconds.
Discord really cut you out while you
Discord's
were
like, this is not human language.
Just like, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, that one.
Sorry, that was a little too
fast. That in.
Just a real good reaction. Just like a scout reaction right there.
That's really fun. Wow. Scout's got lots to say.
You tasted something in that stash, I think.
Scout's like, Scout wants to play PlayStation 2 and bite
that mic.
Strain.
We have a guest.
I'll get you. I'll get you your own microphone.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, what are we gonna do? We played a little bit of like Crash Bandicoot for some reason. Yo, the craziest thing, the thing that stood out the most was the loading. So much loading. Oh my god, I forgot. We played some Jet Moto 3. Oh, that game does not load. Wow. But just like those beautiful blue and green LEDs glowing on that beautiful console. And we played probably an hour of the first part of GTA 3, which just like, why not? really awesome. Just you forget GTA 3 was just sort of like just kind of melted on screen. Like all that blurring, all that sort of like oozing. That game was constantly just melting all over the screen.
Yeah.
Which I kind of lost in the sauce a little bit. But man, oh man,
was the PS2 connected to a CRT? I can't remember the picture.
No, it was an LCD TV.
Okay. Cool.
And it was composite cables, not components. So we were roughing it a little bit. No one has that magical PlayStation 2 component cable anymore. Like those things, I feel like you gotta. I'm sure someone makes like a third-party version of them, but those original ones are not easy to find. Man, what a delight! SSX. Whew, it was great. It was really, really great. And then we fell asleep.
Any surprises in that PS2 stash of like, oh, why do you have this?
No, it was like very much like the top 20 represented. You know, there were really no big surprises.
Silent Hill 2 was there for some reason.
Shadow of the Colossus.
No, Shadow wasn't there, but it should have been.
Flipnik, the arcade or the pinball like video game that of course Jeff Backler loves the PlayStation 2.
No, I never. Do I need to do a
We should play Flipnik, but because they have this great version of Pong in there where it's got triple paddles and each side has 3 paddles. It's the best.
That's sick.
I think EGM used to play that and play cash games, and someone lost like $1,000 playing it, doing double or nothing. So
let's do that. That sounds like a great time.
What's that, Jan? You're in.
It sounds like a great time, man. What are you doing?
I love Flipnik. Yeah.
No, but it was super sick. A great little surprise. I wanted to share that with everybody who didn't see the picture I posted. It was so cool to just sit there and instantly be transported back 20 years, 22 years. It was sick. It was a really awesome experience.
That's really cool. So actually, that inspired me to bust open my Steam Deck and then stuff some PS2 discs into my Steam Deck because that's how it works. Yeah,
you just melt them down and just pour it into the fan exhaust part, and that's how that works.
You went through the Emu Deck thing and all that stuff that we did.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did.
Cool. All right, I'm excited.
And it was just one of those things of like where it's choice paralysis because it's like, what do I start with?
Right.
And then I wound up playing too much of a Tony Hawk Underground.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Thug.
Oh my God. And then like I thought about playing Thug 2 and then I was like, I probably shouldn't.
I've not played those games in forever.
Yo. Oh my God. I can't think of a reason why we would play it, but maybe we should play it.
Because I go back to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, 3, and 4 all the time.
Yeah.
I never go back to Underground. I should totally do that, man.
I want to go back to Project 8.
I thought about that too, but then I didn't want to ruin a good time. I was like, I'm having fun. Eric, the friend in this game, fucking sucks still. But like Project 8, oh man, I don't know if I want to go back.
But the thing about Project 8 was like the sort of like kick flips you could manually do in slow-mo. Was that in any other Tony Hawk game?
No. I mean, I guess you could kind of manually do a kick flip in Ride, but that wasn't a proper kick flip.
Interesting. Okay.
I also go back to American Skateland, not Wasteland. Skateland for the DS.
That game.
Oh no, yeah,
it was surprisingly fantastic. I mean, all the handheld Tony Hawks were surprisingly good, but that one I go back to all the time.
The other game I revisited was Mark Echo's Getting Up, and then I was just reminded of like, yo, this game is sick as fuck.
Yes, that rules.
This game is so cool, man. Graffiti should be. Someone needs to introduce Gen Z to graffiti, please.
Yeah.
So then they'll just go hog wild with it. No, because
I think they're aware.
But they need to just do it. Like I need a bunch of like little vandals tagging up buses and stuff.
Yeah, they only play Fortnite instead of committing crimes, and that's my biggest problem with Fortnite.
Exactly. Children, imagine if sprays were real.
Yeah, right. You're right, though. It does seem like I do think the most prolific writers are like still in their 40s and 50s. Like we need to lower that by a couple decades. All right.
What is the status of Mr. Mark Echo these days? How's his brand
doing?
Up?
Is he getting up?
I saw some people rocking Echo sweatsuits recently, but I don't know if that's like vintage or it's the new wave, as the children say. I don't actually know if they still say new wave. But speaking about new things that may be old, Jess, you bought a couple of things in a VR.
Yes, I'm really, really, really excited. Ugh. So this was the extent of Christmas between me and the fiance. Whoa, weird.
Whoa.
Crazy, heavy, man. But like the extent of Christmas, just like we're just gonna get each other one big thing. Maybe this also counts for our birthdays. I don't know. So I got him a Steam Deck. He got me Steam VR.
Oh,
The Valve Index. And I talked a little bit about Half-Life Alyx. I talked a lot about it on my Game of the Year list because holy fucking shit, that's a video game. I'm playing the director's commentary like immediately as soon as I was done with the game. I was like, I'm booting it back up. I'm playing the director's commentary right fucking now.
Oh,
This is
that's
a
cool.
miracle. This is a fucking miracle of a video game. It's incredible. But yeah, I'm high on VR right now, and Steam sale just happened, so I bought I Expect You to Die. I bought Boneworks.
oh
bought-
no.
I bought Pistol Whip, which is the rhythm-based shooting game, which looks dope. We have Beat Saber already. And I bought Vermilion, which is like an oil painting simulator that I'm really
Ooh.
excited about. You actually like mix the colors, and it's like actually like legit color mixing, like on like only I care about this. But yeah, maybe we'll do like a Bob Ross style stream or something like that. I want to do more VR stuff.
Could I convince you to get 11 table tennis, and we could play that this Friday on UPF?
Yeah, let me look it up. What is this?
It's just a table tennis game. It's really all it is, but it's so much. I have so much fun because it just feels like real table tennis.
11 table tennis.
Oh, I love table tennis.
Me
I'm
too.
bad at table tennis though.
I'm pretty bad too, but it's like just it feels. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna force you to go spend $14, but I will totally get online and play some table tennis in
You can
VR.
write it off. It's a work
Yeah,
expense,
let's do it. Let's
baby.
do it. Yeah, I'll get my stuff set up this week.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh man! Shouts out to my table tennis coach back when I was 11 for telling me, Jerome, you can lose the weight. Shouts out to you, man.
Wait, what?
What?
Wow.
Well, I was a chubby kid, man, and then I was like real sad about like being.
Rude.
No, he was fine. He was a nice guy, and he was like,
Megan.
he did the thing where he like went on one knee and like he sunned me, and it was like, son, Jerome, you can lose the weight.
Oh,
Don't
you got
worry.
sunned?
Yeah.
Mm.
You
Chubby
Say-
little
You
jam.
can say anything after saying "son" to me, and I'll be
Wait,
like, "Okay, I'll listen."
Jan, so you're nasty at table tennis?
It's been a hot minute since I've had
But he
the
is
ping
Filipino,
pong. Yes.
so-
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Seasons
I-
in general, we're just gifted
Yes.
with table tennis.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, so
Hey,
I'm good at like I guess that's a sport, right? Like that's
Yeah,
table
man.
tennis
Absolutely.
is-
Rockstar made a game out of it. It's a
Because,
sport.
yeah, you can go to the Olympics.
No, yeah, no, I'm not saying like again because I'm what I'm leading into is like I'm shadily good at like a lot of things that are like borderline sports,
Okay.
right?
Bocce ball, right?
Aside from hockey, which is actually like a sweaty sport.
Okay.
Ping pong's definitely a sweaty sport for sure. Like I have sweat in many basements in New Jersey playing table tennis for sure. But like bowling and like weird like golf, like weird like a borderline sports I happen to be okay at. What I'm getting at is the first annual Giant Bomb table tennis tournament.
I would
Oh,
love it. I'd love
yes.
it.
Okay.
I hold my paddle like a pen.
Yes,
I
yes.
use
I
little
do that.
funky.
I do that same
Yeah, you
thing.
do.
Yes.
Oh,
I do.
God.
I use-
I'm out of my league.
I use
Oh,
I
I
only
did the
backhand.
FedEx break room in 2001, 2000. When I got out of high school, I worked at FedEx, the sorting facility in Ohio. And whenever we would be on break, we'd all just go to the break room and play table tennis the entire time. And it was always like the Southeast Asians that just dominated. Absolutely. So, yeah.
What,
Shouts out
what
to my
brand table
Seasons.
should I buy for the basement?
God.
Whatever they have at Walmart.
Yeah, honestly,
Okay.
table doesn't matter as much. It's honestly the paddles and the ball.
Hmm.
Well, it's always
It's
about
just
the ball.
it's just like balsa wood. Like, is there like fancy ones?
Yeah, for sure. What's like the big brand? What is it called? Like Topspin or Ultra
I think
Spin?
it's Forrest Gump's. I'm sorry.
Forrest
That's
Gump's
bad. Another
90
bad joke.
degree right
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah.
God, man, there used to be this old dude that like went to the that wasn't part of the team that I was on when I was 11. because he was older and he shouldn't be playing ping pong with a bunch of like teenagers. But like he would come and like fucking smoke everyone. He would do like the fucking back. He would hold it the paddle like how Grubb is mentioning like a pen. But then one time I thought I had him. I thought I had this old dude, and he would always hit it backhand. And I think that's why I always hit it backhand now too. This fucker flips around his ping pong paddle mid swing. So he pulls it back, fucking flips it in the air, holds it, I guess, orthodox, and then smacks the shit out of it. And then the ping pong ball bounces off the table and whops me in the head. And I'm like, oh my God.
Destroyed you.
And that's why I stopped playing ping pong.
Yeah. Did that turn you into a super villain?
Yeah, he used a super on me. Oh my God. But yeah, all right. Okay. Speaking about sports and stories about sports, Jeff Grubb, you've been checking out Sports Story.
I checked out Past Tense Sports Story. We'll get to why Past Tense here in a moment. I started this game up with a lot of excitement. I really liked Golf Story, which was like a kind of like a Switch launchish game. It came out that first year of the Switch, and little indie game that was promising to be a lot like the RPG sports games from Camelot, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, for Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and for the most part, it definitely captured a lot of that same stuff. Now, its thing was, yes, you are a golfer who's trying to get better at golf, and then you also encounter a bunch of weird RPG quests that you then solve with golf, and that's a good dichotomy, and it did a good job of balancing that. In Sports Story, you can immediately tell that it does not hold that same sort of idea about how it should be structured. And instead, they're like, okay, we're going to have some golf here. Like, you're going to start off golfing. But it's basically all just one weird quest after another without any real propulsive reason to go through these quests. Like, my character doesn't seem to have any desire to be the best at golf. I haven't unlocked any of the other sports. And it's just weird and kind of bad for the most part, because it's just so disorganized in terms of how it's trying to present the game to me that I feel no real reason to go through it. And I'm kind of missing having the opportunity to, like, all right, I built up my character by doing all these side quests. Now let me go play a round of golf. Well, that's nowhere in sight. And then the quests themselves are pretty boring and rote or like confusing. I mean, like, hey, go get oranges for your coach because he wants to make orange juice, I think. And it's like, okay, now I'm like just running around this not very big space looking for oranges and not really understanding.
Grocery run.
It's as boring as it sounds, and it's also like there's only 4 or 5 things I can interact with here. Why can't I find? Oh, it was just a little bit further up in the water, and I didn't know I could swim. And it's just bad at like teaching me the very, very, very basics of the game. And then when it does, the game isn't very, very fun. There's some real issues with like, it's just how it's presenting everything. And it's kind of a real disappointment because I was really, really looking forward to this. Apparently there is like this hidden room inside the game where if players get in there, they'll meet people who are like working on something, and they were like, "Hey, we've encountered problems during development, and we've been forced to put more features into this thing." And it's like, "Oh, I wonder what they're talking about." And so it's like this really like sort of obvious reference to the fact that they were forced to kind of make a game or push out a game that wasn't ready, and they were forced to like work in a kind of an environment where they were doing things that they knew weren't best for the game, but they wanted to make it bigger and bigger because management said so. And that you could feel that there's probably like a breadth of content here. I just have no desire to go and play around with it. And the kicker was I was halfway through like one of these sections of quests where I got to this new village, and I'm doing all these things of trying to find these various things in the quest. It doesn't really matter. I got halfway through, and I was like, okay, I've been streaming for 2 hours. I'm gonna probably pull the plug on this. I got things I got to go do, and so I just shut the game off real quick and went to go check something else out for like the very end of the stream. I was gonna go play Wave Race, and as soon as I saw that, I saw chats like, "Oh, the game doesn't autosave, Jeff. You probably lost a bunch of stuff." I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way it's that bad."
What year is it?
And I went back to we checked the game live, and it took me all the way back to the beginning of that section of quests, and it was like a good chunk of stuff. And I just deleted the game from my Switch because I'm never gonna play this again, and I probably will play it again for the site, but I have no desire to play it again until they fix stuff like that. And it's not like they ever told me to manually save. There was no obvious.
That's some Sonic 06 shit right there.
Yeah, and there was no obvious menu sort of popping on my face like, do you want to save? And when I would hit the start menu or start button, it's not like, oh, here's the big save button. You should probably hit this. I still honestly don't even really know where the save option even is. I didn't go looking for it, but it wasn't so obvious. It's like, oh, I should be saving. Again, it's like this game just feels undercooked in so many crucial ways that I really, really just could not recommend it to anyone, especially if you were a fan of Golf Story. This is not going to, I don't think it's going to scratch that itch. It's a real disappointment.
Yeah, you seemed really, really high on Golf Story. I was excited for you for this.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could probably fix up some of those things like the auto saving. You could either put that in, make saving a lot more prominent in terms of like something you should do. But that's not, I think they're probably a long way from turning this into a good game that is worth people's time. And this is not the same space that the Switch was in 2017, where a Golf Story could come out and be this smash hit because it's like, oh, everyone, it's like those old Mario Golf games. Everyone wants to play this, and everyone did it. It sold very well. The game never even got ported to Steam or other platforms because it sold so well on the Switch. They didn't feel the need to. Here, it's so much more crowded. There are so many more options on the Switch for indie games, all kinds of games.
Yeah.
Everyone's putting their stuff on the Switch now. This game's gonna really struggle to stand out, I think. So, yeah, it's again just a big disappointment.
That's a bummer.
It's a bummer.
No game of the week this week because it's a little light. But is anyone else?
Game of the week is nap time.
Yeah,
Some naps.
Game of the week is naps. Anyone else play anything small I want to talk about before we go to break?
No, that was almost. Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to really balance the things that are happening with my kid and a little bit of like the Roblox stuff, which I'm starting to get a little pissed at.
Ooh.
Which bits?
It's just
Buying stuff?
No, he's not buying stuff. He's being a good boy with that. And he also can't do it because he's physically locked out of the ability to do it. But I guess it's more of a philosophical sort of thing where it's is he truly going to outgrow the thing I need him to outgrow? And he plays a lot with his 12-year-old cousin, which is not helping. So I'm just sort of trying to understand oh, is this a fad? Oh, great. Someone in chat just said my 14-year-old still plays. Well, fuck.
Tell him to grow up. God.
I don't want to say that. I will say this. He's playing Roblox on PC now. And now he's learning to type. So I'm oh, well, that's good. I want him to type. Typing's important. He used to be this hunt and pecking sort of person. And now he's sort of understanding where the letters are. And that's a big revelation. And I don't know, boys and girls.
I mean, there's no solution here. I mean, we could just play Roblox so much that it makes him think it's not cool anymore.
Make it lame.
There we go.
Yeah.
We'll do the world a service.
Yes.
I have not thought of that.
The New Jersey Devils will never lose a game again, and Roblox will always be cool because we're going to play it. A little reverse psychology. We can make this happen.
Are there any professional Roblox teams?
I can't see there being.
I mean, there is one now. Us.
Here we go.
Roblox seems so.
You could just tell your kid that I'm on a professional Roblox team, and he'll get so mad because that's not a thing.
He will love it. The other day, I came downstairs and he's playing a game inside Roblox, and he's just Dad, I want to capture my gameplay and put it on TikTok. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say?
No,
what the fuck did you just say? And then I sat there and I was like, maybe you should do that. But then I was like, wait, no, it's bad. It's bad. It's funny.
Monetize my child.
It's funny. He the game he plays right now is just it's very weird. It's almost like they play house, where it's
Role
people
playing.
Yeah, it's like they buy a house. They don't have kids, but other people can play as kids.
Oh hell yeah!
And say adopt me, and he'll be like, yo, I adopted 3 kids and I have a house with this other person now, and this is our
they're
car.
People playing the kids? They're real people?
And so my biggest thing,
I don't feel good about this. I feel like
my biggest thing was looking at the chat. I'm like, what is this motherfucker saying? And he knows to be good. He knows what to say and not to say. And I'm also looking at what all the other freaks are saying, and everything. Like they do seem to have a pretty aggressive censor filter, so nothing really gets through.
You would hope so.
Just get your fetishes from The Sims like everyone else did. God.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Have you showed him Strider, 2014 Strider? Because that's so cool. He'll be like, man, Roblox looks like real shit compared to 2014 Strider.
Well, you should introduce him like hyper violent badass games, and then Roblox is gonna look like some fucking kid shit.
Well, I don't think that matters, folks. I think the shittiness of what Roblox looks like does not matter. Like he's very aware that Roblox looks like shit.
I talked to someone who makes Roblox games like professionally. Like they started a company to make Roblox games inside Roblox, and he described it to me as a punk rock video game aesthetic.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, that's upsetting to me, but I think if you like to explain it to a kid, they're like, this just like goes against the grain.
Yeah, child exploitation is real punk rock, man.
I take umbrage with the punk rock labeling, like Jess put it. Like, the spirit of punk rock does not net out with like people being fleeced.
I don't think it's in any way like in the spirit of punk rock. Absolutely not.
Hyper-capitalist
like,
nightmare video game where children make
the
games
visual
for children.
Style. The visual style being deliberately ugly at this point, it's like I think that's the defense anyhow.
No.
Yeah, it's a weird, it's a real weird platform.
It's not Cruelty Squad. It's not ugly on purpose. It's just ugly.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I'm fighting that fight a little bit. I'm not telling him to stop. It brings him joy. He's learning to type. I think at the end of the day, it's not making him a bad person.
Okay.
So the leash is a little long there, but it's weird, man. Roblox is a weird fucking thing. And that's it.
I'm gonna raise my kid off the grid.
I was Grubb, please go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm waiting for like the kids to come home and ask about Roblox or something. I'm like, should I introduce them to Minecraft first? Try to get them weigh in on that, but I don't think that's like
he plays a lot of Minecraft, and he knows that Minecraft is like a more cerebral sort of like thing.
Get him some shaders.
Like Minecraft, I never like unpacked Minecraft, but I can extract and understand like what it is, and I know that that's probably like the more positive experience. But there's something about, I don't know what it is. I think maybe Roblox is like so accessible. I think that's what it is. And it's also like bad too. Like it's accessible, but the software is also bad. Like it's kind of just being held together with duct tape and like unicorn dreams or something. I don't know what exactly is keeping the lights on in that thing. But it's just one of those weird things. I'm trying to think of like the equivalent from like when we were kids. Like what was like the janky sort of thing that we all.
It's Flash games.
I guess
kids,
so.
But it's Flash games.
It's like Line Rider. Yeah. Although Line Rider is fucking cool, man. That shit.
Neopets is amazing. What are you talking about, Jess?
Neopets.
Yeah, like what is it?
But it was cheap.
I got fleeced in Neopets, but we don't need to talk about that.
I think Zappy in chat is right.
We're not surprised, Jan.
I think Zappy in our chat is right. Children are stupid and they like stupid things, and that's
I mean, kids love trash. It just is that simple. My kids have always loved I will show them like, hey, this is an Emmy award-winning like children's television show that I am enjoying. I get joy out of watching this with you, and they'd be like, look at me like this is boring as hell. Please put back on the YouTube video where Superman and Spider-Man turn into balls, and then they get in the back of dump trucks, and those dump trucks go down ramps, and they go into a bunch of like colored liquid, and they come out the other side a different color, and then a computer voice says purple. That's the real shit. Give me all that. That's all they want to watch for hours.
I cannot wait for like the psychological fallout of all these kids getting raised on these weird AI algorithmically SEO'd nonsense surreal videos. It's going to be really interesting. Like, what kind of sense of humor is that generation going to have?
Our first like YouTube president, exactly, one day.
Or they will make the most surreal, amazing art possible.
Yeah, like honestly, how's it going to shake out? I have no idea.
Could be positive.
Backlar, have you thought about getting Dylan real into Rube Goldberg machines? Just around the house.
That's interesting you bring it up. Rube Goldberg, I was always fascinated. That's why I like pinball so much. You know, like he was obsessed with Mousetrap for a while, which is the epitome of that, right?
It's also the worst board game, though.
Yeah, I've never played
terrible
the game.
Because no one ever plays it. They just set it up and do the thing. But yeah, I like that's on his radar for sure. He loves like that sort of like mechanical interactive toy thing. There should be. Is there like a sandbox Rube Goldberg game?
I mean,
Yeah, well,
Must be.
Sandbox. There's a VR one. Was that the Infernal Machine, Impossible Machine? Chat would have to help me out. There was one early on in VR.
yeah,
Gary's
Gary's.
mod is basically that, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that works too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess you could also do that in Minecraft. Huh.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we should check out Roblox. I'm curious now.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's make it not cool.
Yep.
And I'm also really curious to see how many
dark patterns
are in the thing. I'm sorry, I didn't know it'd be
it's-
high pitched.
It's pretty surface level. Like it's just, the dark patterns there are just like the incentivization to just pay to not wait for stuff and pay to get the cosmetic stuff, right? Like, I mean, I think that is like the least clever shit that's going on there. I think there's something else in the sauce that, I think it's also because of how disposable everything is. Like you get on there and it suggests 45 games to play, and you've like never. It's a platform, so it's just the platform for people to make games on. So like, there's constantly all this new shit popping in. Some of it functionally works fairly well.
Yeah, some of it's like, oh, this just feels like Call of Duty. Like, yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I don't know. Maybe we should spend an afternoon just poking around in there.
Yeah.
well, I know
January is now Roblox month here at Giant Bomb, everybody.
Yeah, it's a PSA.
We did a Fortnite thing. Now we gotta get into Roblox.
Yeah, no. We got into Minecraft super late. We got into Fortnite super late. We're about to get into Roblox super late.
Super late. Do you know when that game came out? Have we talked about this before?
14?
2004.
2006. But yeah.
What?
Yeah.
2006?
So, yeah, it's really old.
Yep.
What?
That I can't even understand.
Yep.
Same year as Sonic.
It's the year Jan was born.
Yes, that's right. Came out with a mustache and everything. All right. Well, I guess it's time. Let's just go take a break while we ponder time and just how it just keeps on going and against our own mortality and Jeff Grubb not having as much hair anymore. And then we'll be back to talk about some news. See you in a bit. Yo, it's a whole new year and I'm looking to get back in shape. And after working out, I'm pretty tired of chalky protein shakes. You know what sounds dope to eat after hanging and clanging, y'all? A bowl of cereal from Magic Spoon. You might be asking yourself, homie, why are you gonna eat cereal to get swole? And then I'll answer your thought now, buddy. It's because Magic Spoon has 13 to 14 grams of protein. It's also got 0 grams of sugar, just 4 to 5 net grams of carbs. For the homies also looking to be health conscious about diets, Magic Spoon is keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, and even soy free. That's magical. With 8 flavors, you've got options. I dig the cinnamon roll, and I don't have to fear feeling like a cinnamon roll after eating a bowl because each bowl has 140 calories per serving. Magic Spoon also has flavors like blueberry muffin, honey nut, and maple waffle. I was wowed with how flavorful and crunchy Magic Spoon was when I first tried it, y'all. It doubles as a guilt-free snack throughout the day and even as a little treat after a workout. Head to magicspoon.com/bomb to grab a custom bundle of cereal and to try Magic for yourself. And be sure to use promo code BOMB at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/bomb and use the code BOMB to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. Magic. And we're back! And there's a little fun key thing that Jeff Grubb was talking about. It's in a gorgeous atomic shade of atomic purple. Oh man, I need this vibe or this look or colorway to come back in a hard way.
Yeah.
Now
I feel like we've all been saying it, we've all been begging for it, and no one's doing it. And there must be some sort of like reason they're not doing the 30-year cycle for this.
They don't believe that we want it. They don't believe that we really mean
so
it.
bad. I see people talking about, like, every month I see someone on my timeline being like, we got to bring this aesthetic back. The see-through, colorful plastic of the 90s and 80s. It was so cool. Bring back those telephones where you
Was
can see all the
focusing.
bits in them.
Oh, that was hella cool.
Do it like a modern phone. I want to see all the bits in my modern phone.
I used to call my cousin. For some reason, I got excited because my cousin had a clear phone, and I would call her all the time just so I know that she'd be using it. And I thought that was hella cool, even though I couldn't see it at the time. What a
Sounds
dumb
All of
child.
you licked. I got all of you licked. I had. Do people say that? Why did I just say that? Licked.
Don't lick me back, Alar.
What the fuck was that?
Call me
Anyway.
HR again.
Get HR, yeah.
I had
Third time today.
I know it's a record. I had like a one of the phone, like a Pulse style phone, but the base, not only was it completely acrylic and clear, you could see all the guts. The base was neon. It was like a neon tube that ran through the whole thing.
Oh,
Awesome. Neon used to be, I mean, it still is kind of cool, but I think neon's dope, man.
I had a weird phone. I'm sure people can look this weird little motherfucker up. This was a Nickelodeon themed phone, right? It was
and it sprayed gack every time the phone rang.
So I don't remember if it was green or orange, but it was on a Slinky. Like, if I remember correctly, it was like placed on a Slinky. There was a base, there was a Slinky. It sat on the Slinky, and the top part, you take it off. It was shaped like a hamburger bun, sort of.
Ooh.
And there was like little clickies on the side that unfolded it, and you talk into it. It was like a flip phone, but hamburger shaped, and it
Ooh.
was so fucking uncomfortable. And it had
Everything makes
numbers,
so much more sense now,
the
Jess.
dials. I know, right? It was a cool phone, but it was really uncomfortable.
I like the idea of like it just being a regular phone, but there's a Slinky in the middle. So when you pick it up and you're holding just the top part, the microphone part just like slinkies down like to your belly button.
Speaking about Slinkies, I saw some youth at my local Target doing tricks with Slinkies.
Ooh.
Is that a thing? Like is it like a yo-yo
I
adjacent?
bet you go on
trick kinda
TikTok and you
thing?
look up Slinky tricks, you're either going to see some really truly pornographic stuff, or you're going to see what Jan was describing.
Yeah.
I see this guy that goes to Ren fairs and like Burning Man and places that have to do with like people stoned or high on something, and he goes and does all the tricks, and people love that guy.
Does he do like devil sticks and stuff?
It's
Oh my
like that.
God,
It's very
yeah.
adjacent to devil sticks, but it's
Okay.
just like mad slinky tricks.
Mad Slinky tricks. A sentence I didn't think would be uttered today. But
There
Jess,
you
you
go.
said the
That's
magic
2023,
phrase.
baby. It's
You said
all
the
about
magic
mad Slinky
phrase,
tricks.
and you
Yeah.
win the news. Ba-da-na-na-na-na-na. I'm gonna do the news music with my mouth so the audio doesn't desync again. News.
Ooh, you hit a nice note there, bud.
Yeah.
Man, no auto-tune on that one, baby.
Oh damn. Showing off. I got some news for you. Like not a ton. Well, we've been off for a while, so I could have had a ton, but I'm like, nah. So I'm just gonna bring I'm bringing you guys a handful of stuff. So we'll start here with Bethesda's support site claims Starfield is still coming in the first half of this year. Bethesda is kicking off the new year by launching a website where people can already complain about how Starfield is broken. But considering the newness of the site, it is maybe notable that they are on that site still writing that Starfield will come in the first half of this year. Now, we knew it was supposed to come in the first half of this year because the last time we saw this game, it was at that E3 for Xbox where they said everything we're showing is coming in the next 12 months. And that was in June. So that would mean that Starfield, in order to like be truthful to that claim, would have to come in the first half of this year. Despite all that, it's been pretty easy for, I think, most people to look over at Starfield. Like, we haven't heard a ton about this game, at least not directly. They've definitely talked about it in various featurettes and things like that, but they haven't put out a bunch of new trailers or anything. So I think it's been real easy for most people to believe it could easily slip into the second half of this year. Could even go to 2024. Who knows? That's not what they're saying right now, at least on their support website. Do you guys buy that? Because I'm like kind of going back and forth. I suppose this is good news, but I still won't be surprised if I'm playing this in November instead of June.
Yeah, I think if not this fall, next year.
Yeah, I mean, I they could have done it. Like right now, they could have just said, "Oh, it'll come out when it's done," or something like that. So I guess I'm going to take a little bit of positivity from this, but I'm not gonna like hold them to it. Like this is not them coming out and 100% confirming a release date or anything at the same time either.
No.
And they did that before. It was 11/11/2022, and they delayed it. So
Yeah, I mean, plus like a support site is like so believably one of the places that just would not be
right.
an accurate spot for
Right. What do you like? You're
right?
the person in charge of that. Like, what do we? Well, people are going to ask, when is it coming out? That's what they're going to come to a sports site for right now. Like, we have information on that. We said it would be out in the first half of 2023. So just put that on there. Like, that's what we said last time. We haven't changed that. So yeah, I could totally. You're right. I could totally see that just being like, oh, that's the boilerplate information. We could just put that on there and move on from that. This is one of the big games that was supposed to come out from Bethesda last year. The other one being Redfall. That game is now rumored to come out in Mayish, early May. The Steve Ballmer heads over at Windows Central are claiming that Redfall will also make its targeted first half of 2023 release window. Their sources claim it should debut in early May, maybe in that first week of May. There are also some plans for an early access period with this game. Now, not like when you go to Steam and you get an early access game, they're like, hey, this isn't finished. It won't be like that. It'll be a lot more like what Forza had happened, where if you want to play Forza Horizon 5 a week early, you could pay for the ultimate version of the game and you'll get it a week early, a week before everyone else. Now, if you wait, you can get on Game Pass as part of your subscription. You don't have to worry. But if you want to have it just a little bit early, you can get this early access period. So they're going to do that with Redfall as well. And it worked out really well for Forza. Forza had like 1 million people playing before it went on Game Pass. So it's like, everyone knows they can get it on Game Pass, but it still sold a ton of copies, so they'll probably do that. But Redfall in May. First of all, do you guys believe that one? And then do you think that has any sort of indication on what is happening with Starfield? Do you think they would put Starfield out before May?
No, but I want to derail this real quick, and I want to play a quick game with everyone here. What game is Redfall? What game is it?
I was literally going to say.
Yeah, well, you have to guess. This is great.
I have had to look up both Starfield and Redfall.
Hell yeah.
Because they have one of those names that's just like forespoken. It's like, what is it? I don't.
Well, I think I know what Starfield is, but I don't know what Redfall is.
Okay, Bacalar, what do you think Redfall is? And Jess,
just guess.
I think Redfall is like, I think it's just like 4-player class based, like.
It was right so far.
Fucking go get those damn vamps.
Yep, that's it.
Ding.
Like that's what I think it is. I think it's Left for Vampires. Like
now,
the real vampire survivors, huh?
Yeah,
it sounds like it won't necessarily be like a Left 4 Dead but it could have some of those elements. It definitely has 4-player cooperative stuff, but it's an arcane game. They're like, oh, you're gonna be,
sneaky.
You're going to be sneaky, and there's going to be 1 million ways to each, like, in and out of places and things like that. Yeah, but maybe we don't know.
Maybe there's like a cool sort of like, almost like the Rainbow Six planning stage before
like
you
Siege?
attack like a thing, right? Where like you set up and like you make a plan, maybe because it can't just be that. It can't, like, there has to be another gimmick.
Yeah, it's definitely not just a Left 4 Dead. Like that's
and I'm not trying to shit on Redfall before, months and months before it comes out. I've been unable to become excited about this game, right?
I think that's totally fair.
So I think, I need to learn a lot about it, and I think I'm looking forward to learning about it. That said, it can't just be a Left 4 Dead, which I don't think ultimately it's going to be 1-to-1 for that.
I want to shout out a good joke in the chat. Left for Vlad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice. Fantastic.
Jess, you did look these both up, or so would you do? Okay, so like, what did you think Starfield might have been before you were?
Like a lot. There's been. I'm trying to think back to the last like big games thing that we streamed, and there was just like one after another of
a lot of space
sci-fi games and like also sci-fi horror games. So I was like, is this the one that's like not Dead Space, because that was the Callisto Protocol, but there's another one that was like kind of like robot bad guys in space.
Yeah.
But there was also some other one that kind of looked like maybe like a No Man's Sky thing, but it definitely wasn't like as big as that, and like it's just so vague right now to me, and I don't know why.
Well, these are both new IP, new properties, so they were always going to struggle with that a little bit. But I
looked it up, and it's Fallout but space. Or
Right,
Yes.
right.
Skyrim but space. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, okay, it's a big RPG, and this is
Right.
the new world. It's the sci-fi version. Okay.
And again, if there's more to it than that, we don't know because they haven't told us that much. So
Yeah.
Fallout in space is about as good as a descriptor as you can get for it right now. But yeah, that's that was always supposed to be one of Xbox's big games. Last year, so was Redfall, so was Forza Motorsport. Actually, those 3 games now do look like they probably will make it out in the first half of this year if they're sticking to all this stuff at least. We should probably hear about them soon, right? Like we haven't seen much since last E3. If we are going to get all 3 of those games by the end of or by June, by E3, let's say, they probably should come out and tell us about it. There is some rumors going around. I've heard a little bit that Microsoft is planning some sort of video game event for January, February, March, the first quarter of the year at the very least. And if they do that, I would expect all 3 of these games to be at that thing.
Would you also throw in like Halo's co-op mode finally?
Yeah, I think they do updates on all stuff like that as well. Yes.
Okay.
I think Halo single player, like the campaign co-op, did launch actually.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, we should play that. Actually, we should
What the
do that.
fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah, what?
yeah, we should play that.
That shit came out?
I think
Yeah,
so,
okay, yeah, I'm down to play that. That sounds cool. Yeah, let's
Seems
do
like
that.
a fun sandbox. All right, hell yeah, let's do that. Okay, moving on.
In November? Okay, sorry.
Oh
there
yeah,
you go.
Outer Worlds was like Fallout in space. That's why I
Yeah,
don't
it's-
know this one.
I'm saying-
Okay, I see.
Video games do that. They do that. They're like, here's like 5 of that game. Absolutely.
Jesus.
Just name a game after like a dude, like Super Mario.
What?
Everyone knows what Super Mario
But
is.
this is just Todd Howard's new game. Honestly, that's the easiest way to refer to it. Hey, it's the new Todd Howard. All right.
Play
yeah.
the new Todd Howard.
Yeah. Oh yes, I was going. I don't know. What are we doing there, Bacalar? Was this
I'm
like
not sure.
a
It just comes.
fancy
Sometimes
video
that
game?
voice comes out of me. It's like not British, but it's also not.
Mid-Atlantic?
It's like
Yeah.
It's
What
just
is it,
like,
like a-
It's just like a. It's like a fancy.
Yeah,
it's like a
fancy boy.
fancy accent.
I'm hearing like a
Yes.
film snob. Is that what you're going for?
Mm.
Like, have
You play the
seen
new Todd
new-
Howard.
Yeah.
See, now you're doing a voice instead of the voice just taking over.
I don't know what I call it. Someone name it for me. Thank you.
The modern Hitman trilogy is morphing into the world of assassination. This is basically a rebrand to make things easier. The idea here is to combine Hitman's 1, 2, and 3 into one singular package. They want to drastically simplify the process of basically finding this game. The trouble up to this point has been, okay, I have Hitman 1. I want to get Hitman 3. I know I can get the Hitman 2 stuff. What's the easiest way to go ahead and buy that stuff so that it makes sense? And there really hasn't been a good solution, at least not a one-size-fits-all solution. This will accomplish that. So they're going to put all the content, all the base content into one package called Hitman: The World of Assassination, and you could buy that for $60. So no, $70 apparently. And then they'll also have on top of that the World of Assassination Deluxe Pack, which is going to include a lot of the DLC for all 3 of those games, and that'll be another $30. So now you can get the entire package for $100. And if you just want all 3 games under the Hitman 3 label, it's $70. Now that means Hitman 1 and 2 will be going off of sale, but you could always get get that content through Hitman 3 anyhow. And if you already own Hitman 1 and 2, you'll be able to access that the same way you always could. So it makes a lot of sense. It's probably going to make it a lot easier for the studio, which has had to maintain all these different branches this entire time, and now they could just focus on this one thing, and makes a lot. I mean, it's also I think a good sign that Hitman 3 has continued to grow for them. Something I don't know if they thought would happen originally. They were trying to do this Hitman as a platform since 2016, and obviously Square Enix, the publisher at the time, didn't think it worked because they sold them off as like, this is not working. We're gonna get rid of you. And now Hitman 3 is like this thing that is established and growing and getting bigger, and it seems like they're going to keep supporting it as they go into the world of assassination here. Did you guys ever look into buying Hitman 3 and its content after that came out? It was a real mess.
It was really hard to. I always got caught up in the loop of trying to port my saves over from 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, and then I barely looked at the newer content for 3, despite liking 3 a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
my most recent Hitman revelation was because I was buying stuff for Valve Index, Steam VR stuff.
yeah.
I knew there was a VR Hitman. I thought it was a separate little game.
Oh no!
I've been informed it is just all of the game, and they just made it compatible with VR. And I'm just like, how the fuck does that work? Oh my god, which one do I buy now if I want to play it in VR? I'm confused.
I remember.
Just get World of Assassination.
Yeah.
That's probably pay for a sale though.
I remember it working pretty well. I think it was Brad that fired it up when the VR mode came out, and it was surprisingly pretty fleshed out.
Oh,
I'd imagine it just gotten I hope it would have gone better by then.
I'm such a real big baby with stealth games. Like I'm terrified to do anything, and I'm really clumsy. So maybe I'll try it maybe I'll stream it and make tons of mistakes or something.
That'd be fun. It's just like the opportunity to
Hitman.
be silly is really good there. So
I've watched a lot of Hitman though, like between Giant Bomb stuff and also my partner playing like the entirety of it in front of me. So I'm like a familiar-ish with it, but I've never actually played it myself. So playing it in VR would be quite a fucking adventure.
It's a great game. They're great games.
They're
Yes, they
awesome. Yeah.
if you do still own like Hitman 1 and not 2 and you want to buy this thing, they do still have like granular options to not have to rebuy stuff you already own.
That's good.
So don't worry about that, everybody.
Nice.
All right. Pokemon Studio is launching a new game for iPhones. We talked about this recently. Game Freak trademarked Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. They trademarked that in Japan. And it turns out that is indeed something. It's a new version of the Pocket Card Junkie game that came out for the 3DS, and it's headed to Apple Arcade on January 20th. Pocket Card Junkie, of course, is a Pocket Card Jockey. I don't know. It keeps coming out as junkie.
Say it again.
Junkie.
Pocket Card Jockey. I don't know. My mouth just wants to turn it into junkie. I'm just gonna call it that. I don't
That's
give a
because
shit
you're
anymore.
thinking of how Jan is a junkie for this
Yes.
sort of exact stuff.
Exactly. It's a solitaire game where it's a solitaire where as you play solitaire, as you perform the solitaire motions, the better you perform at the solitaire, the better your little pony does in the horse races that are happening behind the solitaire. It sounds weird, but people really liked it on the 3DS. I never played it. This is an updated version of that, basically that same game. Just now the horse races are in 3D. It still looks very cute. People like these Game Freak games that are not Pokemon games. So yeah.
Audio listeners, Jen is making a very strained face.
Jen, how you doing? How you feeling about all this?
My guts hurt.
Yeah.
My guts
I don't
hurt.
be here anymore.
That looked like spiritual indigestion you were experiencing.
It's just, oh man, it's like the Catholic guilt kicking in or something. I don't know.
Now, do you feel bad because you want to play it, or because Game Freak is making other stuff and can't make a Pokemon game?
I didn't want to admit this during the game section, but then I've been covert.
You didn't.
I dipped back into the well, folks.
Oh no!
I hit the vein. I hit the can of Narcan.
You relapsed.
I relapsed, and then started playing some Scarlet and Violet, and then it's still not great, but it's okay. I just wanted to fight people. That's all I wanted to do.
That's it.
And then I couldn't.
Slope.
Okay. I promise not to derail the news for too long.
No, lay it on us.
All right.
We're here.
Competitive Pokemon. You take 2 teams, right? Each person has 6 Pokemon, and then you bring 4 Pokemon in, right? Okay, following so far?
Of course.
Right.
That's 10 each, if I'm following correctly.
No.
No, 4 of the 6.
You choose 4 of your 6 Pokemon to go into battle. Then it's 2v2. And then generally you'll see both Pokemon on the field, right? The thing is, depending on how you choose your Pokemon or how they're deployed, you'll put 2 Pokemon out, and sometimes maybe you throw out a Pokemon that's a bird, and then it's flying. And then depending on the spot that it's in, whether it's the left side or the right side, it'll just be flying in that spot. Sometimes, because the bird is flying or the Pokemon bird is flying, you just can't see your other Pokemon because it's on the floor.
Okay.
And then it's just like, the fuck? What the fuck is my Pokemon alive still? What's going? Mm-hmm. It's just very upsetting.
Professional video game makers.
Doesn't the camera swoop around? No.
Barely.
That's weird.
Barely. Yep. It's great. Great.
Can I continue to derail?
Please.
Yeah, please.
Let's do some rails.
Whoa, relax.
Let's do some derails. Sorry.
That's not the
Forgot the
resolution I
prefix
was
there.
thinking about. Okay. Do you guys know about like fake Pokemon cards?
Oh
Sure.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Fake Pokemon everything. Yeah.
My
How
kid comes
fake?
home.
How
Very
fake? Because,
counterfeit.
Like is the Pokemon itself like a made
No,
up?
no. No,
Non-canon
they're like based on
Pokemon?
reality, but they're
Okay,
very
okay.
clearly fake.
Because those ones are
'Cause-
really funny.
Because they're like like the wrong font. They're the wrong everything.
Hell
They're-
yeah.
Some of them are like actually like plastic, like actual cards painted in gold paint and
We need a
plastic.
show
Hell
and
yeah.
tell, Bachelor. You
Nah, I
should have
don't.
these.
I don't have any because I told my kid, I'm like, give these back to these freaking vandals who gave these to you. He's like, look what I got. I'm like, that shit's fake. And
You
now
got scammed.
I felt no, he didn't get scammed because he didn't like trade anything.
We
for them.
respect IP rights in this house, Dylan.
No, so here's where I'm at, right? Like so very early on, he and Jan knows this. He was introduced to like really valuable cards like right away. My buddy Russell has a bunch of really valuable Pokemon cards, and Dylan saw them in like the PSA graded cases, and he's just like, "Well, this is a fucking amazing thing. Like, how do I get? Let me get in on this. Let me start buying packs and pulling like real, serious cards." So he was a little educated, out of the get go. Then he comes home and he's like, "People are giving me like these cool gold plated Charizards," and I'm like, "What the?" And I'm like, "Oh, these are all fake. These are just fake. You got them from eBay or Amazon or wherever you got them. They're not real. There's no metal cards. It's not how this works." So it's just like this weird. Now,
You know they do like fake Game Boy cartridges too, right? Fake Pokemon Game Boy cartridges.
yeah.
That's a
That's
huge
cool.
thing on eBay.
just for like to display or
No, they're like
No, because
ROM
they're
hacks.
Yeah, the ROM hacks put on fake cartridges, and then they paint them and put the right sticker on so they could sell them and make money. It's a scam.
wow. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I,
So wait,
but
you- wait.
where I'm coming from is like, do I just like let him enjoy the fake bullshit? Like I'm not trying to like get in the way of that, but at the same time, I'm like, you are not trading any of your cards that are in cases in your room for any of these gold pieces of shit.
It's kind of fun to like as a kid like have some weird stuff
Yeah.
that no one else knows about, and then grow up later and then try to like solve like, wait, where the hell did I
Totally.
get Super Mario 6? Oh, look, you're like, your brother was in the Marines and was in Thailand. He picked it up in a place. And it's
Right.
like, and it's like, what the hell? This
It's
thing
a very
never really
specific
existed.
story, but yes, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like, no, for sure. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to like. I don't want it to be a situation where he gets gotten. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah.
he's only he's very young, but like this, I've heard about this sort of stuff happening where people will trade decent cards for these pieces of useless junk, and you're like, oh man, I wish that didn't happen.
Mm.
So
Right, because
it's-
it forces him into a
Further-
situation where he has to decide, is he going to be the person that does that scam to someone else now?
well,
Yeah.
I
I
would
mean, no,
hope
I
that
know, but
he-
it's like that.
You're right.
Because like I got turn around is fair play, and but it's not.
Presumably
This
he's
is-
more educated. Like I can't
You know,
imagine
yeah.
the parents of these other kids being like, this is our scam. This is what we're doing. Like
right.
So-
But yeah, I mean, it's still it still feels bad. Like if you got the fake
I
one, and
know
you traded
it's
something real.
weird,
So.
man. Oh, it's everything. Why
I
is
mean,
everything
like,
so fucking
for what it's
weird?
worth, there are some actual like metal Pokemon cards. Like that's not like completely fake. Like
Are
FYI,
there?
yeah, like the chat's saying like there are some that like are metal. Like you could just find like aren't there metal cards? Like I remember in like the 90s they used to come in these Pokeballs and there was like a fancy little metal
Jan,
card inside.
Does Dylan have fake cards or not?
Metal cards. I feel like they weren't real cards. Those came in like Burger King Pokeballs.
And they're very clearly like plastic also.
Oh, of course they're not giving children gold, Bacalar. I'm not saying
Well,
no,
that.
But metal painted in gold, it could be
Yeah,
a
like
thing
metallic is what I mean. Like they're
too. Yeah, no,
like,
they're
that
very
is a
clearly
thing
not metal
that
either.
that children can put value on in general.
And they're also it's very clearly like the wrong set of like fonts and stuff,
Yeah,
and there's
fake-
just something
fake
all
Pokemon-
about them.
Paraphernalia is very, very much a thing. Very
Yeah.
much a thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got doubles and triples of some.
Oh, I got those triples. I got those triples, baby.
Yeah.
And anyway, so Game Freak does this to have their studios like be able to or have their new developers practice up working on other games. so they can come work on Pokemon games and do that real good shit, like putting a bird in front of your view so you can't see anything.
Cool.
Yeah, I like Pocket, or I've always wanted to play Pocket Card Junkie. I'm just gonna keep saying it. And but I don't have an iOS device, so I'll have to get my Junkie fix somewhere else. I probably will just go back and get the 3DS out and put it on there and play it on that instead. So
I know a junkie you can hit up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shan. Junkiewary. Let's see. January 20th is when that's coming out. Final Fantasy producer is teasing something else for this year. So in a message from Yoshinori Kitase, the one Yoshi P, right? That's what people call him. The producer explained that development was picking up speed for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and he reiterated plans to release Final Fantasy XVI this year. But then he went on to tease something else. And this is a quote: "There's also another big announcement unrelated to Final Fantasy VII that I can't say anything about just yet. Rest assured, we're working hard to make sure 2023 is the most exciting year yet." Could this be a reference to the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster or a remake of Final Fantasy IX, both of which were in the NVIDIA leak?
Yo, we're gonna dirge. We're gonna dirge so hard, Grubb.
Dirge of Cerberus is a possibility, but do you think that's I don't know, do you think that's something they put out right on the back, of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
I feel like we're eventually gonna have to teach the young children why vampires are cool, and then Vincent is the best example to teach children why vampires are cool. Yeah, I'm ready to dirge. Also, I don't want to get my heart broken that Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Advance is going to come out, because it's not. It will never come out.
Yeah, I mean, it is on that NVIDIA list, and it's not and so like almost everything else has been real on there. I think that's probably real. Also, this is not Naoki Yoshida is Yoshi P. Excuse me, my bad. So correction there, but yeah. I think this is probably Final Fantasy IX remake. I think it's probably that. So, but
you'd like to wager?
Yeah, one way or the rest of it, sure. No, I'm not wagering anything. I do not know, but I mean, other than it being on the NVIDIA list, and I think that again, almost everything on there has been real. The one thing I know for sure was real because it was Apex Legends, and the list had it as Titanfall 3. But during development, Apex Legends was referred to as Titanfall 3, so it's
mean.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's cruel to us fans of
rude.
Titanfall, of course. But yeah, it's going to be a big year for Final Fantasy, though. Final Fantasy 16 is going to be huge. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth coming out at the end of the year. So anything else that they put on top of that stuff would just kind of be icing on the cake for fans of that series. Meanwhile, over at Square Enix, they're still talking about the blockchain, guys. I don't know.
What does that mean? What does that mean? They're still talking about it.
In yet another New Year letter from Square Enix president Yosuke Matsuda. I remember last year he put out that New Year's letter where he's like, "Hey man, the big thing for us in 2022 is going to be the blockchain." So he's done it again. He said the publisher said that it thinks the volatility in the blockchain market throughout 2022 rules, actually, and that's me editorializing. Matsuda thinks that the crypto crash will lead to...
Yosuke said that.
Yosuke, once again.
Yosuke, how could you?
He thinks that the crypto crash will lead to lessons learned and serious regulation. Matsuda notes that Square Enix had an aggressive investment in blockchain. But looking externally, I think it's fair to say, and this is a quote, that blockchain gained significant recognition as a field in 2022, as evidenced
by made fun of by people,
and as evidenced by Web 3.0 becoming a firmly established buzzword among business people. What the fuck?
Seriously, that's a buzzword.
Yes,
what is it?
That's your evidence. I used to like be surrounded by these people at a previous job where it's like we put on events and the people are like, that's some Web 3.0, and that's all it ever was people just saying the buzzword to try to get money from investors.
That's it.
And that's his evidence. It's crazy.
Investors are dumb, but
absolutely.
You can't just say like they're really loving this.
They're
buzzword.
Also easily frightened right now. So it's like after seeing FTX and all this other stuff, they're probably pretty scared. And buzzwords are not going to help them through that.
Yeah, even those psychos are not like, where can I send the check?
Right? Yeah, they're scared off. They're frightened off. His defense sort of built into this letter is that in Japan, the government is still interested in spurring investment in the space. He says the country signed the Priority Policy Program for Realizing a Digital Society in June. That policy promotes Web 3.0 investment in Japan. So I guess he's hoping to get that government money. I don't know. It's pretty weird, but this just sounds like a fear of missing out because they're like, hey, he goes on to write like, oh, I've seen things change so many times, like with mobile, and everyone doubted mobile gaming. And look at it now. And it's like I think he's just afraid of that happening again. But there's just no good use case for this stuff. Over and over, it's just been proven to be kind of a scam. And so
the thing with this, right? Like, even if my man truly, genuinely believes that they know something that no one else does, it's like you got to learn when to speak up about that. And now is not the time. Nobody wants to hear about this shit anymore. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Someone has to tell him to shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna start the new year right with this.
This is not the time to talk about your Web3 perv affair.
Yeah, he had every opportunity to just shut the fuck up about this,
Shut
right?
up.
And yet somehow, once again, putting it front and center in the letter, to me, that sounds like they're not giving up on this and they're going to keep trying. That's just wild. Because you could have just quietly taken the L.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, we lost here. Oh, well, that happens all the time. We're Square fucking Enix. We make bad decisions constantly. It's like, you could have just shut up here and no one would have been talking about it again like we are.
Jess, you're going to say.
It's got a vibe of like fake it till you make it, and people are continuing to fake it even though they are not making it.
I'm just curious, like, who is, other than like people already very steeped into Web3 and like their fucking crypto shit, who else is still falling for it?
There's a, I don't know if people are falling for it.
Or
I think
buying
people
in,
are
I guess.
committed to it. There's a lot of like, I want to say people who were able to cultivate some kind of sizable following,
social cachet,
through whatever means, even before Web3 was a thing, and they've found that this is the grift that they're gonna grift until it just isn't viable. I mean, there's just there's a couple people on the timeline that I know that are just still riding that horse, being like, I need to speak at conventions where maybe 17 people show up and keep ringing this bell and keep beating this drum like an actual psycho.
The fuel that this runs on is the sunk cost fallacy. That's what
it's sunk cost. It's a bunch of sunk cost fallacies turned into people, and they're the ones still making investments. Absolutely,
or just true believers that are just borderline just cultists.
Yeah, but they are all running on the same stuff, FOMO and sunk cost. Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll see what Square Enix actually ends up doing. They announced a bunch of things that were going to be their blockchain things over the last couple of months. None of that stuff is still in the news. None of that stuff's front of mind for anybody. So we'll see if they commit to anything going forward. Meanwhile, a group of 300 QA workers at ZeniMax, which oversees Bethesda, voted to form a new union in collaboration with the Communication Workers of America. Big thing here is that after voting overwhelmingly to unionize, Microsoft immediately voluntarily recognized the union without any fight. So they are immediately going into the contract negotiation period. This obviously compares favorably to Activision Blizzard, which has been confronted with the same thing, QA workers voting overwhelmingly to unionize, and Activision Blizzard has fought them every step of the way. Microsoft and the new union will have to negotiate the contract next. Microsoft has promised to maintain this policy of voluntarily recognizing unions as they pop up within its ranks going forward. Obviously, at any point they could change that policy, but it seems unlikely because they know that's one of the things in favor when they go to argue with the FTC about why the Activision Blizzard merger should go through. They're like, look at how much better we are for workers who want unions. And the people in charge of the FTC right now would be very much wanting to hear that. Although it hasn't helped them too much so far, but they are walking the walk a little bit here. That might help them. And if they undo walking the walk going forward, even after the deal goes through, they could always get in trouble later because the FTC's authority is not just in approving deals; it is in regulating deals going forward, even years and years down the line. So hopefully, this is Microsoft just saying this is going to work for us. This is best, and then workers can benefit here. We have no idea what kind of contract they'll be able to get, but obviously, 300 workers is a lot of people. They should have a lot of power going forward. This is it really does feel like it's spreading though, right, guys?
Oh, totally.
It feels like the unionization in the gaming space has come, and it's just going to keep growing.
And I think like seeing like that Amazon warehouse in Staten Island unionized kind of like galvanized like other places that are just like, well, if they can do it,
Yep.
why
Yeah.
not? Why not us? Like Amazon's like way worse and way more union busty and has way more money, probably, almost certainly, than wherever we work at. So it's just like, why the hell not? So I don't know. Keep raising a stink, people. It's working.
Yeah.
I remember when I tried to unionize my Jimmy John's that I worked at a
How'd
long
that
time
go?
ago. It didn't go very well. It was,
Oh.
Mr.
it was a
Johns
different time.
came in and
It was a different time.
Damn it,
poured
Jimmy.
a lot of gasoline on the floor and lit
Yeah.
a match.
He
Yeah.
would though. I hear that guy sucks.
The owner did take me to his car and told me how things really were, though. So that was
Oh,
always
wow,
fun.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
Too real,
I'm like,
too
why don't you
real.
guys just fire me? I don't get it. I don't
With a
mean, like,
gun.
No,
Yeah.
I have to intimidate you.
you just
Yeah.
help with the vibe so much. That's why.
Yeah, no, I liked it. All right. Everyone believed a rumor from 4chan, which is like always not a great way to start a sentence. But everyone believed the rumor from 4chan that Playground was rebooting its Fable game, which it's overtaking the Fable franchise, and they were going to move Fable from the Forza engine that they were making it in to Unreal. This is not true. This is not true. A bunch of people were able to confirm that. What digging I was able to do, this is just not happening. I want to ask, like, does that sound believable to you guys, though? Would you have bought this? Because when I first heard it, I'm like, that sounds somewhat plausible only because
Yeah.
everyone is moving to Unreal Engine, right? That's the one part of that sounds realistic. But otherwise, I guess the real reason that it was easy to tell this wasn't happening is they said they were rebooting it in Unreal right now, and then the game was going to come out in the first quarter of 2024, which if you know how long it takes to make games, that's just crazy. That's just another crazy thing. But people are still really worried about Microsoft's lineup of games, especially people who have just bought a $500 Xbox. Like, hey, what am I buying this for? Well, hopefully Starfield, Redfall, all those games come out and are good and are worth like recognizing as what they even are. But then after that, what's coming? Fable's one of those big games, and people are still worried. It's like, well, what is the lineup going forward? Playground obviously does really good work with Forza Horizon. People are hoping that can translate into a big open world RPG in the Fable series, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then finally, I guess a CES is happening. I was
Ooh.
surprised, but then I remember it's the beginning of the year, so there it is. Jeff Beckler had not emerged from his fridge and announced 6 more weeks of smart fridges, so I was
That's right.
pretty confused.
As everyone knows, the beginning of every year, I emerge from a smart refrigerator, and
Yep.
if I see my shadow, it means that I will be at CES. But no, this year, no shadow. This is the first CES I will not have been at since 2020.
What about last year?
Well, that was, I don't know if it was in person last year. I think it was like half and half, maybe.
I think they did some like pulling back at the last minute, right? Where they were going to
I
do
think
it and then
so.
they didn't. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that was the first one I really missed. But apparently it's like this is the most back it's been. I don't know. I know the Nvidia thing was this morning, which was they always, like I always feel like all the CES press conferences were like mostly underwhelming. Occasionally you would get like
Yeah.
a weird bit of news out of Sony. Like I think one year like Sony announced maybe a slim version of one of the consoles
That sounds
CES.
right, and that's basically what we have going on with Nvidia. They
Yeah.
like in the GPU space, they save a lot of their stuff for Computex in Taiwan, and then they at CES. Excuse me. Instead, we get the thing you already knew was coming. Well, here it is confirmed, and that's what happened. The RTX 4070 Ti, excuse me, is launching this week. It's $800. It'll have twice the performance, or up to twice the performance of a 3090 Ti. And this is basically just that 12 gigabyte RTX 4080 that they announced and then unlaunched, as they put it.
Yeah,
So
what was that story? I don't understand. How
people are like, this is obviously not a 4080. There is a 4080 16 gigabyte with a much bigger die. The actual GPU was much bigger and different than what was in the 4080 12 gigabyte. So it wasn't just less RAM. It was less RAM and a shrunk die and like smaller components and stuff like that. So it wasn't as powerful. It was clearly always a 4070 Ti, or 4070. And it's like they were just trying to brand it and confuse people because they're like, hey, we could charge people more if it's called a 4080 instead of a 4070. So now they're like, oh, well, we fucked up. Obviously, people didn't buy that. So instead, we're going to just unlaunch it and come out with a 4070 Ti instead. And here it is. $800 still a lot of money for a GPU in a category where, 500 was like the high end just, 4 or 5 years ago. They've taken a lot of profits in the GPU side, and now they're sort of trying to continue that. Any of you guys in the market to upgrade your GPUs? I'm like pretty happy with my 3080 Ti.
Yeah, I don't have a Ti. I have a regular 3080, and seeing this news this morning, I was looking around and I did see some reporting that this 4070 Ti was like outperforming the 3090 Ti in some.
That's what the claim is. It can do up to twice the performance of that. Yes,
which is like for a generational upgrade, that's pretty substantial.
Pretty
Usually
good.
it's like
It's real
20
good.
to 30% gains. It's not 200%, right? So
yeah. I mean, obviously trying to match it up dollar for dollar is always the challenging thing because it's like, well, how much was the 3090 Ti? That's really expensive. So $800, that's like half the price and twice the performance. That's pretty good. NVIDIA has felt the heat from AMD over the last couple of years, so they have been trying to like make sure that their gains are massive. But at the same time, they are in a position where they have to make massive gains because no one wants to buy GPUs anymore. Everyone was freaking out during the pandemic, and then that all came crashing down. GPU sales are at their lowest in like a decade or something like that. So if they're not doing exciting stuff, people are just not going to buy these things, and that's going to be real rough for them. So it's kind of like take the temperature of the room because I'm pretty happy with mine. I'm not planning to upgrade, so I don't know.
yeah,
about you
I
all.
mean, I do think we've hit a bit, not of a ceiling, but like it's certainly a leveling out where
we
like
did.
a
Yeah.
3080 should really last you up to 4 to 5 years. I feel like
'cause
at this point, the way it's going.
Right, because it's like, are you gaming at 4K? And it's like most people still aren't. And
Yeah.
even if you are, 3080 Ti is pretty good for that, especially with like DLSS and stuff like that. So a lot of people still playing games on 1080p, 1440p, and you do not need a 4070 Ti, or 4080, let alone a 4070 Ti. So I think that's kind of where a lot of people are at. Like, we're not upgrading our monitors yet. So
Exactly. It is surprising, and again, I'm just reading like sort of the press release stuff. It is surprising that at $799, right, at $800, they are labeling the 4070 Ti as basically like a mid-range.
Oh,
yes, that's what they've tried to do. Their Overton window of like moving up the price expectations. Because again, like the high end, I remember what was it, like the 1080 Ti came out, and that was like $800, $700 when it came. Maybe it was only like $600. And it's like that thing was so much more powerful than everything else when it came out. And since then, they've just every generation tried to move that price up pretty significantly. And now the mid range is $800. That's just nuts.
That's wild. Absolutely wild. Anyway, yeah, interesting.
But that does it for the news. I'm going to hand the show back over to my friend Jan Ochoa.
I have a late breaking news story as well to add here before we get out of the news completely. The AVN is also happening right now. So,
ooh, who's winning?
Yeah, who
are you
is
winning, son?
I don't know who's winning right now. I don't know who's nominated. I haven't stayed up to date.
Is this the first time that they overlapped in a while? Because I've told this story many times, but they separated.
I think they were able to break bread and bury the hatchet and stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah. And with that, I'm gonna go look up some nominees, not during the break, but in my own time. And afterwards, we'll be back with some emails. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. These are the emails for the show. Emails.
That was really nice.
Thank you. That time I did turn the auto tune on. Let's see like a high note.
I'm not hearing an auto tune. I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, wait. Is the audio fucking out of sync again? Did my singing cause it to go out of sync?
Yeah, you destroyed the frequency. I just knew you were singing the
any
song.
music.
No? We good right now. Okay, all right. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. They now go to virtually everyone on staff, so
I created a filter.
Use that power wisely. But before we get to emails, Jeff Backler, you got a little show and tells.
So someone wanted to see the fake cards. I don't have the fake Pokemon cards. I don't have the metal one. I think that's somewhere downstairs.
Can we put images of this in the description for people?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have one real one here. This is a Pikachu Gold VMAX. It's Gigantamax.
Oh yeah, look at that
Right?
boy.
And
Wait,
it's
you showing us your eBay listings? What's happening here?
Nope. nope.
They do this on TikTok.
We might send this one to being graded because I think this might be a 9 or a 10. But then, okay, like notice the font. Do you see like the font at the top?
Ever
It's
so
very
slightly, yes.
People who've seen, right? And then get a load of this fucking thing.
Oh,
Right? It's just there's just something not right
That
about
Arial?
it. It's also, huh?
Is it Arial, the font? What is that?
No, it's just like it's
Times
almost
New Roman?
serif. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like it's just not real. Like it's also very it's like thicker, way thicker than like a Pokemon card's
it's
supposed to be.
It's a foil though, isn't it?
No, but
oh,
yeah,
but even the foils though,
But
there's a
it's just
certain weight
not-
and heft to it.
exactly. And if you've held a lot of
As many
cards, you'll-
Pokemon cards as Bacalar has, you would know.
No, but just like after a while, you just like, is it a sticker? No, it's not a sticker. Here's another one that's just very clearly.
Oh, yeah,
fake.
that's not real.
It's just not real. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like you ever touch like counterfeit money?
No.
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 I legally have to say no.
Well, you never lived. Also, like look at the spacing like on this thing. The name of the Pokemon is like almost a full centimeter below the border. It's just not a thing. Look at the spacing on the back. Like there's huge blue gaps. Like the blue gap here is way bigger than the blue gap on the other
Oh,
side.
yeah, look at that. You can see that. Wow.
Right? Like this is just like, come on. Like what fool in their basement did
It's
this?
also
yeah, that's
the-
just printed
the-
on there.
The shade
It's
of
not
blue
centered.
is also not the right one.
Yeah, like it's just very clear. Like one's real. And
Oh, yeah.
one, and
Yeah,
the
that's a
other two are
Honolulu
just-
blue. Yeah, they're not a real blue.
You know what kind of blue that is.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a pro. I'm a PSA grader in my off time. Okay, that's what I do. And they also have like a very. These cards, they're fake, and they also like start to bend in a weird way.
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh.
see-
Yeah.
You see the sort of thing that they're doing.
Oh, that is a weird thickness.
It is weird.
Just like me.
These are bad. These are fake.
Mm.
But these two, my son came home and he's like, I know these are fake.
Oh, good.
So
Good job, Dylan.
right.
Oh,
So he's already learning the trade a little bit.
The
But,
family
I'm
business
glad-
of grading, yes.
Exactly, and I'm glad Uncle Jan's been able to teach him a thing or two as well. This thing looks like actual dog shit. I'm just gonna throw these away. But anyway,
If you want to go super duper serious with some of the stuff, you can start weighing them or weighing packs.
Sure.
Mm.
Yep.
well, so it's funny because when I was doing some of my Spider-Man metal freak mode that I had a couple months ago, some of those cards are inserts, and some of them are actually metal in those. So people would weigh the boxes, right, and see
Oh,
like,
yeah.
which had
Mhm.
more grams. That's just like that's like standard,
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But
Didn't they,
yeah.
like, do something with the Pokemon cards to make all the packs weigh equally, so you can't do that.
So
I
that's
read that
why
somewhere.
partially they started adding the code cards into the packs to throw
Oh.
off the weight.
With the QR, yeah, that makes sense.
with the QR. Shouts out to the homie Cam for dropping some knowledge. If you lightly bend counterfeit Pokemon cards, they also crease because real Pokemon cards have an extra cardboard layer in the middle to prevent this.
Oh.
You're saying if I bend this, it'll just well, I don't. I'll let.
I mean, it's
my kid
already
do it.
bending, right? Versus
It
like a
is,
regular
right? Like-
Pokemon card.
Yeah, and there is a certain like feel and weight to Pokemon cards. They are super thin. They are like way thinner than the point count on them is probably like 20 or something. It's like really, really thin. Anyway,
Wait,
That's
this-
it.
Just one last question. Where to get these?
eBay.
the fake ones?
Yeah, we were just picking them up. Just like
I've heard
back
people
behind
can
the
get them on
7-Eleven.
eBay. I've heard people can get them on Amazon. I would not.
Yeah, but
know
like, is your son
personally.
just like trading with people that might have got them on eBay? Is that what
I
happened? Or
think
did he go
my
on eBay?
kid. I think my kid's. You know what did I think it is? I think my kid's a sweet fucking talker.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think he's getting people. I also think he says like, "Oh, my dad will tell me if those are fake if you want to know." I think he's doing that too. This little piece of shit.
You're
What is
raising
he
a con
doing?
artist, my man.
He's getting me in trouble. Is what
Where's
is
he learning
happening.
this? Where's he learning this? Roblox? What's going on here?
I don't know. He's definitely. I'm not sure he's learning anything from Roblox, but oh my god, I just realized the font on the description of this Gyarados is like straight up Arial.
Gyarados, see?
Doesn't
Used
matter
car
what-
salesman.
It doesn't
Gyarados.
matter what this thing's called. All that matters is
Yeah,
that
no,
this
I don't
is
think I trust you anymore to tell me what's fake or not if you don't
you
know
see
how
the
to say
font?
that guy's name. No.
It's just bullshit. Gyrodose? Gyrodose.
Gyarados. Did I get it right?
No,
You
people
got
in
it
the chat
right.
are telling me Gyrodose.
Gyarados.
All right. First email comes from Josh from Ottawa. They write in, "Hello, Bomb Crew. My 3-year-old loves Elden Ring. She calls it the tree game, and she wants to watch me play it herself every single day. She loves helping me fight the hand beasts, kill slugs in the lava, defeat the jerks throwing things at us from on top of houses, and do continuous runs through zombie-infested woods at the School of Magic. I thought this would give me the opportunity to show her other games and secretly give me more time to play games I was going through. I've tried showing her Pokemon and Sonic Frontiers, but she wants none of that. She just wants more Elden Ring. Is this my life? Is Tam looking for a very young Souls apprentice? Who would have thought Elden Ring can also be a 3-year-old's game of the year? Thanks, Josh from Ottawa."
Oh,
That's wonderful.
you
That's
got
cute.
You got a future goth on your hands. I
Yeah,
think.
you got a goth. You
got a
really
goth
do.
kid.
You got
Yeah.
a goth.
Mm.
Although I can tell that your kid does not care about meeps, because if I ever killed a slug in the game, I would get in so much trouble. I get yelled at. Slugs are meeps and friends. We cannot kill them.
Mm. I kids like gross stuff, right? Like, look at Roblox.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of gross.
It whets the gross appetite, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, but Elden Ring is
Cool.
like very drippy and gross, right? Like there's
It's got all kinds of gross.
a lot of
Call it
snot, it's a
visceral.
lot of,
Half-finished birds. Yeah.
yeah,
It's not as
yeah. Skeletal remains, if you will.
it's not as colorful as I would think a 3-year-old would be geared towards, which is what I find most interesting. Is that it's complicated and dense looking, and it's a little desaturated, and it's
Yeah.
like, you got an artsy kid on your hands. A
Maybe
goth.
just like really, if you like weird big stuff too, like kids love dragons. There's dragons in Elden
Yeah.
Ring.
Oh, yeah.
All
Lord
right.
Rykard. Kids love Lord Rykard.
Oh yeah, especially when he pulls. I'm not gonna.
The children love Lord Rykard.
Next email comes from Matt in, I'm going to assume that's Colorado. "Hey, gang. I took my daughter to the museum this past week." A couple dads emailing the show. I took my daughter to the museum this past weekend, and one of the exhibits had a sandbox with a topographic projection on it. As a dozen kids surrounded it, moving the sand, it adjusted the map to make it look like different parts of the seafloor. I was interested to see how the museum was doing it, so I looked up and saw an Xbox Kinect staring down at me. Do you know of any other ways the Kinect has been repurposed, or have you seen any other gaming peripherals getting unexpected use in the wild? Thanks, Matt in Colorado.
Yeah, they were
Kinect
using
has to be the most common one, right? Like,
Right. They had a whole
Yeah.
platform, right? They
Yeah.
put it out with Connect for Windows.
they're
And like, okay, now
everywhere.
go to town. They're used in like stroke recovery, where they could track how your skeleton moves. So they're like, here's here's how it should move. Here's how you are moving. So let's try to get your body to move this way. And they built an app to like translate sign language, things like that. So they could the Kinect could actually read the hand signs and translate that stuff. I think Microsoft worked on that, in fact. But it's also a fun thing that people were just messing around with. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was like a really well-known 3D developer, and he did the thing where it's like you put the Kinect on one side, and you were able to it was able to track your eyes, and so then you could look at the TV, and since it knew where your eyes were, it could adjust the TV like that thing in Mission Impossible 4 or 5. Where it's like as you're moving around, it can make the TV look like it has 3D depth, even though it's just a 2D screen, and there's no like stereoscopic stuff happening at all. The same thing that happens with Marvel Snap, actually. So yeah, there's a ton of cool stuff happening with Kinect, or there was. I don't know how much is still happening.
Do you think the Kinect was too ahead of its time? Like, if it came out now, maybe it would have like blown up more, or are we too focused on VR, perhaps?
I think it was always the wrong form factor. I think pointing a stereoscopic camera into people's living rooms was never gonna really super duper work unless you were Apple. Like Apple could probably do it, but everyone else is gonna have a certain level of distrust, and they were, they could improve it over time, but I just don't think that's exactly how people wanted to use it. Like the Kinect had the smart speaker stuff. All the smart speaker stuff was a Kinect could do, but they just had it in the wrong form factor. People wanted it just as a speaker, not as this whole thing connected to a console, connected to your TV.
It also didn't have like a killer app. It didn't have it just wasn't like plug and play in a way that other things are, right? Like you I just feel like the onboarding for that was just never great, and but yes, like where Connect lives on are applications like this. Like they are everywhere. They are everywhere, and I feel like the technology is still relevant enough where it's not something that will just disappear overnight.
I mean, it's going to be the basic technology is going to be inside the PSVR 2 where it maps the room. The Kinect could do that. And now the PSVR 2 is going to have that inside-out tracking, which is like, what HoloLens was also doing. So they could like put Minecraft inside your family room and things like that. But it was never going to work in the exact form factor the Kinect was in.
Yeah, the Kinect lives on in museums, operating rooms, future VR, ghost hunting applications.
Mm-hmm, of course.
And the Jaguar lives on, the mold of it at least, in dentist offices.
Huh.
Story.
Huh.
I don't know why, but like the I saw like a Jaguar ass looking thing on the wall of my mom used to be a dentist or a hygienist rather, and I was like, that looks like a Jaguar. And then I looked it up, and like the molds for Jaguars got like reused and sold to a dental company.
Yeah. It's like the lamp. Is it the lamp stuff or no?
No, it's like something that like went on the wall. I don't know what the fuck it was though. I'm like trying to look it up, and I don't remember.
I gotta say, I don't know if I'd be able to pick an Atari Jaguar out of a lineup. I had to just like look it up to remind myself what it looked like.
Well, it was just like this thing looks like a console. Like it looks like a console flipped and put on a wall, and I was like, I couldn't figure out like this looks like something mildly familiar. Then I like looked it up, and it was
Yeah, this must have been in like a video I was watching or something recently, because I remember hearing that like the last couple of months that the molds got sold off to a dental company. I
wonder if it's still like in circulation, or if this is like a defunct, like it's an old equipment for dentists now.
I have no idea. Maybe dental equipment doesn't get updated that often. So
even hearing the word dentist like shakes me. I'm so frozen with fright over going to the dentist. Like it is the only. I will get 40,000 tattoos, shots. I will get like I've had like surgeries that I've been awake for. I would rather do all of that than just get a cleaning.
Part of what it is, it's because you're also going to be guilted at the dentist. It's you're not flossing, huh?
I also had a really, really bad pre-pandemic dental experience that lasted around 9 months. I was going to say 7, but it was more like 9 months where like I had like a botched root canal and like all these other things, and it fucked me up.
Did you keep going to the same dentist after they fucked you up the first time?
No, of course not.
Okay, that's good at least.
I need a dentist.
It's just like, I think maybe that's what did me dirty, and like I want there to be a dentist out there.
Let's gentrify dentistry. Is that where we're going?
What does that look like?
I have no idea.
What?
I want there to be a dentist who, like, is so aware of. I'm sure there are people like this who are very aware of the anxiety people have about going to the dentist. But in a way, I think Dan shares this with me a little bit too, because I think he asks to get drugs for cleanings, dude. I think I think Dan needs to be taken.
He want to be
out.
put down for. Everyone's put out for
I
cleanings.
want to be sedated.
Sedation dentistry. Hook it up. Like, give me that person's number, and I will drive hours to go.
I want that for haircuts, just so no one talks to me.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was Jay-Z that said gentrify your own dentist, right?
Yeah,
is
that how the lyrics went?
Yeah.
My mommy was my dental hygienist, so I'm fine with the dentist.
Yeah, but that's not the person filling the cavities and doing the real
she filled in some of my cavities.
Wait, she did all the that's that's nice to have.
She
Like,
did some of that,
I wish I had a family member that could do that, where I could just be like, Aunt Mary, you'll be nice to me. I'm your nephew. You're not gonna fuck my world up and traumatize me
Make
forever
sure I
and
got
ever.
fitted for a bite plate and stuff. Stop grinding my teeth at night. It was a good gig to have a family member in, gotta say.
Yeah.
Sedation dentistry. All right, I'm gonna look it up. Sedation dentistry. Let's go.
That seems like an addiction waiting to happen.
Just
Next
deal with it.
email.
just grow up.
Next email comes from Matt from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, all. I know we're all familiar with the situation where you find out someone hasn't seen a movie or a TV show that everyone just has to experience. This often happens with The Usual Suspects or The Matrix or something like that. For TV, sometimes it's Breaking Bad or maybe The Wire. What is the equivalent for video games? What is a personal game you would say you just have to play at least once? A true can't-miss experience. Portal 2 has to be on my list. Thoughts? Matt from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Thanks, Matt. I don't believe in this anymore. There was a time where it's like, oh, someone would say, I haven't seen Star Wars. And I'd be like, what? And now it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it takes all kinds. Like, I suppose like it'd be a little weird. You haven't played Super Metroid. I'm not going to mention it anymore. I'm over it. Like you can just, there's so many games I haven't played and so many games coming out every year. And so many young kids now growing up on a completely different experience of gaming. And maybe some of them did get into like all the old games I played. Whatever. It takes all kinds. So I'm like, the can't miss experience. I'm like, no, you can miss anything. You can miss Super Mario Brothers. You can miss Super Mario 64. You can miss Half-Life 2. Whatever. You can miss anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think like all that shit goes out the window after a certain threshold where
Portal.
it just doesn't matter.
The first Portal. Everyone shut up. The first Portal.
You know, like
And the
I would
director's
say,
commentary, because it's so short and it's like so eye-opening to realize how much video games manipulate you. Like, you think you're in charge here? You're manipulating the game? No, man. It's the other way around. They're psychoanalyzed. They figured out how to make you do what they want you to do, and that's fucking cool. Anyway, that's what I believe.
I think it's just so long to make someone play. It's like, oh, you've never checked out Metal Gear? Here's 20 games. Not actually 20 games, but like, you know,
it's like games are very long. You're right. It's this whole. I mean, I feel this way with like movies and music as well. But like, yeah. I don't know. But I mean, just like one day, the kids are gonna be like, "You haven't played some specific weird bullshit in Roblox?" I'm like, well,
oh
okay.
my god,
that happens to me. I'm out. Peace.
I feel like the more like, you know, there's something weird to be said about like, you know, how like, oh, how do I put this? Like when we were younger, like all of us watched the same stuff.
Yeah, the
'cause it was
monoculture, right?
Yeah, the monoculture, the zeitgeist, the childhood zeitgeist at the time. Everybody watched Pokemon, everybody watched Power Rangers, and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, the more that there is all sorts of different things out now, like the less we're all gonna have in common with each other when we grow up. Isn't that kind of weird?
oh yeah,
It's cool.
There's gonna
but
be
it's, like,
some weirdos
weird.
that only watch Pluto TV.
People are gonna be like, "Did you used to watch Spider Elsa pregnant dental surgery .mp4?" Yeah. Like,
No, I was more of a .mkv person with that. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. Like I'm with you, Grubb. There's just so much now. There's just so much stuff. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna watch The Wire. I thought about like, oh, everyone's talking about The Sopranos right now. Maybe I should watch The Sopranos. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
I didn't like Breaking Bad.
And that's fine.
That's fine.
And that's fine.
Stressful.
Yeah.
Couldn't deal with
It
the
is very
stress.
stressful.
Yeah.
Everyone's
the
really
thing that
talented
freaks
in
me out
that,
is when
though.
people watch it over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, it's whatever. You do whatever you want. But
It freaks you out.
it freaks me out.
Sedated when they tell you that.
Like my brother watches Sopranos. I know, right? My brother watches Sopranos like almost every year.
A sitcom, I feel like is more easier to understand. Someone just constantly binging because it's just background
Seinfeld's
fodder.
just always on in the background of my house at like certain periods of our life, for sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get that.
But like a serious show like The Sopranos.
A very serious,
we've
heavy
rewatched
duty
Sopranos
show.
twice, I think. We'll probably do it again. We really like it.
Stacey's watching White Lotus season 2 again, and I'm just like, I mean, I
did
get
watch
it.
Andor back to back, so yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Got done with it, watched it all over
I
again.
think
I feel like the nature of the question is not like, I think perhaps you guys are taking it a bit literally, and I think when people ask this question, it's more like, what would you like people like to experience to kind of understand you as a person and your likes and interests? And for me, I think that's probably Portal, you know.
I just can't think of a game that I think I want people to play because I don't want everyone else's brain to be infected with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, man. See, this is the difference between Let's Players and everybody else. Like, I'm just like, you have to know about this crazy cool thing that I love, and you should love it too. Ugh. Let me show you.
If you're positioning the question that way, I think I would tell people to play What Remains of Edith Finch.
Okay, fair.
No.
All right. Next
yeah, I did.
email.
I got really upset at the baby drowning scene, and I was like,
I cried. That's the only game that's ever made me cry.
I'm like, why do I care about any of these people? They're gonna ignore their baby in the bath. This is fucking stupid.
There's a baby
I
drowning
know.
scene. I
I
gotta
cried.
play this thing.
Mhm.
Next
There you go.
email
Some people
comes
say thing, of course.
from Stephen from Rady, Scotland. Not about babies drowning. Hello, Bombcast
I was
champions.
very upset as someone who just had a new baby at that time.
It was
Like,
There's
stupid.
certain
It was a
things
very-
you don't watch Mother if you just had a baby. Don't watch that.
Yep, I'll pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Go play Cooking Mama. Cooking Mama's great.
There you go. There you go.
Specifically on the Nintendo DS.
Yeah,
Hello,
Metroid Prime.
hello, Bombcast champions. My wife and I are finally buying our first house. We're going to have a spare room that we're going to turn into a gaming room. What's your opinion on side-by-side TVs for console gaming? My wife is hyped for the idea after seeing it on Reddit, but I think having noise from both TVs will drive me insane. Thanks, Stephen from Rainy, Scotland. P.S. I actually only started listening to the podcast a couple months ago. It's now my favorite, and you all accompany me on my walks with my dog. Accompany me on a lot of my dog walks now. Thanks, Stephen. And hey,
Thanks, Steven.
thank you for being you.
Tell your friends. Get more people into it.
Tell your
It's not
dog.
too late. Not too late to get into the Bombcast.
Give your dog little headphones. So
Oh.
you
Yeah.
both can listen to him.
But
So you
that was
both
what I was
listen-
gonna say. Headphones.
Yes, your
Oh.
controller. Look at the bottom; it's got a little headphone jack on it. Just now, I know headphone jacks. It's like an ancient technology. Just do that, and you'll be fine. Or these consoles support Bluetooth.
Oh,
Your TV supports Bluetooth. You could just connect it that way. So that way, like if you want to watch a TV show, and while they're playing a game or something like that, you have all these options open to you. Definitely take advantage of it. There's Sony sells a little like sound bar for your neck that you can put around, so you could still have your ears completely open, so you can talk to them, but you're still the TV from your thing is just kind of shooting up right past you, and it won't overtake the whole room. There's or the Atari speaker hat. Just get the Atari speaker hat. Same thing.
it went up in price, man. I can't get that
did.
anymore.
Because
It got
Grubb
expensive
bought them
again.
all.
Yeah. All right, I got a stockpile. You never know when the end might come.
Yeah, gotta have my lifetime supply of Atari speaker hats to take me to the end
That's
of
just going to be
time.
currency in the afterworld. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have a question. If you were to get like a gaming room set up, 2 side-by-side TVs, do you just get 2 of everything at that point?
What?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to play this on the PS5. I also want to play this on the PS5. Does that mean you just got to get 2?
Yes.
No. I think Dan like figured it out with Bonk.
Well,
like
You could do no. I think there's definitely some things you don't need 2 for, but I mean, if you want to play both those games at the same time together, you're going to need two PS5s. Yeah, like
Yeah.
co-op games for sure.
Oh,
I mean, if
boy.
you want to, I mean, obviously you could put a switcher in there or
Yeah.
a splitter
an
and stuff like
HDMI,
that.
Jimmy Jam. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, HDMI Jimmy Jam it up if you want to like take turns. But the whole reason is that you guys can play games at the same time. I would assume a lot of the time you're going to want to be playing the same games at the same time. So
Yeah. I don't know why.
That's like
Go ahead,
that's
Jess.
been a struggle in my own relationship, especially with the VR stuff that we just got into. Because like we were playing Half-Life Alyx, but like we were like we want to like watch each other experience different parts. So one of us would play ahead by like an hour, and the other person would not watch. And then like that person would sit back and watch them play that, and then be like, "Okay, you keep playing. I'm gonna do something else for an hour or two." And then like we would kind of go backy forthy like
oh wow,
that.
that's fun.
Which not everybody. It's not for everybody. We're a Let's Player couple, so we're very specific freaks for that kind of stuff.
And people point out 2 consoles, but 1 copy of the game. This is like where you would definitely want to have physical games because
Oh, I see.
just hand it over to the other person. So, I mean, you could do digital sharing as well, I guess. That works in Mini's case as long as you don't have more than 2. If you have 2 consoles, it works pretty well.
God, you also have to get 2 TVs then, right? And like both have to
Yeah.
be good TVs because then it's like I don't want to use the left TV. The refresh rate's bad.
Yeah. Use that left TV. It sucks.
we used to also have like he would be playing Chrono Trigger, like the original on the original console on a CRTV that was in a separate corner of the room, and I'd be playing on the big TV a modern game, and we would just check in on each other occasionally. So separate but together gaming.
Yeah, separate together gaming, I think, is also totally cool for this situation too. If people pointing out like Elden Ring, like imagine like 2 people just playing Elden Ring side by side and like having a discussion about you're at that part. Like,
That's
I mean,
cool.
it's so vast, that game, that's like, even when you get spoiled, you're like, well, I know that happens there, so maybe I'll just go in a different direction than them. Not every game works that well, but that definitely would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't fathom it. But hey, more power to you, buddy. Next email comes from, I didn't write the emailer, but subject read, James Cameron presents Armored Core. What do we need to do to make this happen?
You gotta put blue freaks in there, right? Put some blue freaks in there.
I mean, I'm not familiar with the lore. Maybe there are blue freaks in Armored Core.
That's true.
You're gonna
I
need
just
a
feel
couple
like
billion dollars.
He's sat in so many of those little mech like submarine Jimmy Jams anyway that like there's already enough B-roll footage of him doing this where that's
those things are called Jimmy Jams because of him as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jimmy Cameron.
Damn it,
Jimmy James Cameron.
Jimmy Cams, yeah.
Yeah,
sometimes finding the etymology out of a thing is really depressing.
It's really satisfying. That to me, I disagree. I don't know. He does love mechs. You're right. Like, he loves mechs. I think if you put an Armored Core mostly underwater, I think he'd be very in, because he loves the water.
Yeah.
Loves the way of water. He loves the abyss and Titanic being underwater. That's his favorite thing. He's so glad it's sank.
God, he loves water.
I mean, he did a whole like Tales from the Abyss where he goes down in those submersibles and like himself and does like actual science.
If he were a Pokemon gym leader, he'd be the water type leader.
He'd be like water and like robots, for sure.
He loves the water robots. That's water aerobics.
Water aerobics.
Man, I think
Did you see it again?
No, wait. You were there during the pre-recorded Bombcast. I've only seen it twice.
Only.
Yeah.
Seen what?
Way of the Water.
What?
Avatar.
Avatar. New Avatar movie.
Who's
Avatar 2.
seeing this?
Jan.
Me.
Everybody.
It's fantastic. I hate it. I've bought in. All right.
What happens in it? Is it good?
It's the same movie, except there's water.
Great.
And there's children now. It's great.
One of them is played by Sigourney Weaver. Spoiler, I guess.
She was already in the first one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
man.
But with this technology, she could be anything.
That's like all I
haven't
know
seen it.
about it is that.
Can I just say, like, you could not spoil Avatar.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not really.
No one cares.
Like the part is like, it's because we've heard for so long there's supposed to be 5 movies or at least 3. So like, what substantial thing is going to happen here? They stop being blue?
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right.
God.
Holy shit.
Bachelor, you were going to say something else before I thought about people stop being blue.
No, I wasn't. All I was gonna say was I did a bunch of Twilight Zone viewing, as I do for the new year, because it's on. It really is the worst possible way to consume Twilight Zone. I mean, I have all of them. I should just like put them on shuffle on my Plex and call it a day during New Year's. But I'm a sucker idiot moron. I put on the Sci-Fi Channel and I watch a lot of that.
Love Sifi.
I do the same thing with the Turkey Day Marathon for Mystery Science Theater. It's like, I know which ones I like. Just bring them up. Don't watch Mitchell.
Totally.
You don't like Mitchell, Jess.
It's a silly exercise. Nevertheless,
Baker's really an asshole for sure.
Twilight Zone is becoming very upsetting.
Becoming?
It is. So it's obviously upsetting, especially like, and the acting in the 60s was like obviously very like over the top and just everyone's fucking screaming. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Like everyone, oh Jim, like it's always crazy. But now the content is becoming more and more, I don't want to say relevant, but a little bit, a little bit more like foreboding, if you will. And I hate to like,
sci-fi writers were all about, man.
Yeah, I hate to play into the trope of like Idiocracy is a documentary, but like there is a lot of that going on, which I don't know, that fucking series rules so hard.
Heinlein and Richard Matheson, they knew what was up, man.
They Live is a documentary though.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Just like National Treasure.
Just like National.
Exactly. I wish that was a documentary.
Book of Secrets.
Just because I listen to a lot of movie podcasts, I just want to bring up John Turteltaub, director of National Treasure, and just what a run this dude has had. Because you get not only National Treasure, you get National Treasure 2, but you also get Cool Runnings,
Oh,
and
Really?
the original Three Ninjas.
Whoa!
Whoa.
What a track record for this dude. What is
What an impact on culture.
the real national treasure is him.
Yeah.
And while you were sleeping.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And while you were sleeping, yeah.
And
Oh
I've
man.
never heard this guy's name. Turtle what?
Turtle Tub.
Turtle.
Turtle Tub.
Banjo-Kazooie character.
And
What
the best thing, the last movie he's directed was The Meg,
Oh, really? The shark one?
the shark one.
Jess, it is pretty impressive that he could direct people while going.
Oh no, he directed that weird like bucket list movie called Last Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you know, sometimes.
We all have stinkers.
Yeah. Yeah. It
mean-
happens. It happens.
How did you con all of these actors to fucking be in this
no,
movie?
but before that, the stinker was The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Ugh.
Oh, man, I want to watch that so bad.
Ugh.
That's the Nick Cage one, right?
Yep. Did has the site done that? Did Alex do that? Because we should do that.
We should do that.
Sorcerer's
Yeah.
I would.
I don't know.
If it's
would
on
watch this
Amazon, we
movie.
should do
I want to
that.
see that.
Oh
Dude,
man.
Jay Baruchel, Alfred Molina are in it. That's awesome.
What?
Yeah, The Sorcerer's Apprentice has a stacked ass cast, dude. I don't get it.
I love
It,
this
it
shit.
actually. What if it's actually good and ahead of
probably
its
is.
time?
No, I
probably
watched
is
too many of
good.
those Nick Cage movies that like people have forgotten. They forgot him for a reason recently. They're mostly just like 45 minutes of Nick Cage just kind of doing something. The rest of it is just like the same scene over and over so they can fill out their runtime. It's real bad.
But the movie poster has Jay Baruchel doing like a Kamehameha. That's amazing. I need
That's good
that.
stuff.
Oh boy. Okay. Last email of the show is from Josh from New York. And they write in, I'm playing God of War Ragnarok. And it occurred to me that if there were a realm that was the home of Filipino game journalists, it would be called Michaelheim.
Oh, dude.
If each member of the Bombcast had their own realm, example, Jeff Heim, Janheim, etc., what would it be like? Best, Josh from New York. That's a fantastic joke. I just wanted to save that for last.
Yeah, that's
Joke's
good.
worth the question for sure.
Yeah.
Grubheim would just have Skyline chili and be big into chili and then burritos and just mostly about food. So that's Grubheim.
Janheim would just be a bunch of like anime armies yelling at each other at the same time. And then like one duck
Sure.
Aw.
turning into stone because he's the most powerful wizard.
Thank you, Notley, in the chat. Jerfheim is a ski resort at Christmas, but the car park is full.
And Jess, what would Jessheim be? Burgerheim?
I just keep thinking of bagels and ramen.
Well-
Bagelheim.
Bagelheim.
Can it just be like Candyland, but like carbs?
Yes.
Sure.
You know, that
Yeah,
sounds
that sounds
amazing.
Awesome.
A diabetic's nightmare, but like
Yeah.
amazing nonetheless.
Yeah.
Carb high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go, Santa Monica Studio. Have the bravery to make an all bagel realm.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Turn those blades of chaos into like, okay. I think,
Blades of cream cheese,
Yes.
maybe.
Jess, Bacalar, I feel like you two specifically would appreciate this. I was at a local bagel place, and then we'll wrap up the show. Guy pops up on his phone. He goes like, "Hey, what type of bagel you like?" And then I was like, "That's kind of aggressive." All right.
And
And then
said
like,
it that?
yeah,
Like,
said it like that.
Okay.
He walks into the shop, walks out, and he goes like, "Oh man, what schmear is like the fish stuff, right? Schmear, it's like because they got a bunch of different types of schmear, but like I don't. It's the whitefish. It's the whitefish. They have one with whitefish, but they also have schmear on all of these bagels." And then he had asked, "Do you also want cream cheese?" And then I just
so cute.
I just giggled to myself, thinking how this conversation would drive Jess and perhaps Bacalar insane.
I would be giggling.
I'd be like, do you need help? I'll help you. I can help you.
I thought about offering him help, but then I thought, like, no. You gotta figure this one
Gotta
out
learn
on
the
your
hard
own.
way.
Yeah.
Some people,
Yeah.
some people, the learning is half the battle, right? Like that's part of the experience.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to be told they're doing something stupid by a stranger. Also,
That too. This man was taller and had like a very thin ponytail. He could have been insecure
Oh,
He
yeah.
sounded aggressive. I don't
Yeah.
think it was in your best interest to correct and
Actually, this man.
You bagel bad. Well, you saw that and let him run away.
You dumb bagel bitch.
You're terrible at bageling.
I slap his phone out of his hand and then just jump in my car, roll the window down, just go, Shmee! Shmee gang. That does it for emails, and that does it for this week's episode of the Giant Bombcast. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff, for joining me today, and thank you, the audience at home. 2023, it's a whole new year. 3 days into the year, and I'm exhausted. We got Game S mornings popping off for the rest of the week.
Yeah, we do.
No pit this week. Also, no Blight Club again this week due to unforeseen circumstances. But we are looking forward to get that up and running back in time. We also got a voicemail dump truck popping off and Unprofessional Fridays. I think we're going to do some quick looks this week. Stuff is a little light, but we'll maybe circle back to the sports story. Echoes of Chains, Chained Echoes, something, Echo the Dolphin, perhaps. And yeah, we'll be back then with some more stuff. Until then, see you later. We love you. Goodbye. Happy New Year. Playing the music now. Here it is.
Or Dayquil.
The Giant Bombcast is hosted and live produced by Jan Ochoa, with support from Jeff Grubb, Dan Reichert, Jess O'Brien, Lucy James, Tamor Hussein, Jason A. Stryker, Matthew Rory, and me, Jeff Bacalar. Our theme music is provided by Tom Monda. Our logo is designed by Dave Schopenek, and you can find him online with the handle @Dave Saved the Day. Justin Vachon is our sweet little art boy. And thank you so much for listening. Of course, a kiss on the cheek to you at home.
Mwah.